Chief Executive Officer of Center for Civil Society, Dr. Amit Chandra, to address the gathering. Dr. Amit is a passionate promoter of liberal values with an interest in improving governance in the area of school education and livelihoods. He is a social development professional with experience in research, advocacy, and outreach. His work has played an important role in designing the public policies discourse in India, including the National Urban Street Vending Act 2014, amendments to India Forest Act 1927, amendments to Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Development Act 2006, and initiatives taken under the Ease of Doing Business campaign by the Government of India. His work and views have been widely quoted in media and academic publications. Amit, requesting you to please come and welcome the gathering. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sanskriti. First of all, a few logistical announcement. All the people who are outside or who are still on lunch, we might like to nudge them to come back to the hall so that we start the second half of the program.
I don't think there is any speaker outside or this side.
No speaker, but our esteemed audience. The second important thing is to maintain the decorum of the event. I request all of you to put your phone on silent or vibration mode and not on the ring mode. Now, coming back to the key agenda of the day, many of us have thought about it or would have asked about it, that why are we so focused on this program called Bolo English? And what is it that the Center for Civil Society at CCS we are trying to do with this mega campaign that we have been running for last 4 years now? I think in the morning, my colleague Dr. Ghanshyam Sharma, made a beautiful presentation. If Ghanshyam is inside the room, I would really encourage all of you to put your hands together. Give him a big round of applause. Because we have been thinking about how do we bring quality education to all the kids. And therefore, in the first half, it might have sounded that we are only working for private schools. Well, certainly, private schools are part of the entire effort that we are going to bring in. However, it is not only focused on private schools. The key goal that we have taken for ourselves is thinking about what all we do to bring quality education to all the kids in the country, no matter where they are. And certainly if the kids are in the private schools, government schools, aided schools, missionary schools, charity schools, wherever they are, our effort is directed towards the students. And therefore, whenever we imagine an education system, we always put students at the center of everything. Similarly, you will see Bolo English, though this year we started as a teacher training program, but all of the effort would not materialize if by building competency, by empowering teacher, if we are not able to take these learnings in our day-to-day classroom practices, which actually improves students' ability to learn the language, right? And therefore, we have to be constantly thinking about it. After me, my colleagues will make a presentation as to what all we have been able to achieve this year. But briefly talking about the journey of Bolo English, as I said, this is the 4th year. We started in 2020. And we all are aware those were the days of pandemic. Schools were shut down. There was no physical classroom teaching, learning was happening, and most of the things had gone online mode. And therefore, in the first 3 years of this project, we were focused on providing English knowledge, skill, building the learning capacity through applications. One application was actually called Bolo English, and then the second was Nguru. And many of the schools who are today, they have been part of that journey since the beginning. We did have some learning achievement and some key insights, and through that, we found above 26% students showed learning improvement in their knowledge of English language, both in terms of reading and comprehension, as well as speaking. This year, as the schools opened, we knew that no effort which is directed in education system would actually materialize until it goes through teachers. We know teachers are the fundamental, that pillar that drives education system. And therefore, it was a very educated decision that we made, that our effort now has to be directed towards building capacity of teachers. And specifically that we know there are majority of programs. There are so many programs actually focused on improving learning. But majority of those actually goes to government schools, or there are elite private schools who have enough resources to design their own training program. And therefore, we decided to pick up a segment where there is less resources, but there is a huge need. Now, I would spend a few minutes actually talking about why it is so important. And as I said, in morning, my colleague Ghanshyam made this beautiful presentation giving you data, evidence as to what all activities we are going to do, which are directed towards improving the state of education. And he was talking about many initiatives that has been taken in India and outside India. However, those have not given you very good desirable result. Because one major part of the problem is the education governance that we have. Until we fix the governance, which is transparent, accountable, no amount of investment, measure, program going to give you the result. Now think about it. The country is actually going through a major change. Look at the demographic change that is happening, right? Now we have become the most populous or populated country in the world. We surpassed China, right? And we became the #1 country. But we also know that now the way our population was increasing is actually slowing down. And we have predictions that we would reach the peak of our population by 2040. Thereafter, we'll plateau and we'll start coming down, as many other countries have faced, like what is happening in Japan, many countries in Europe, including China, right? So please spare a moment, think about it. 2040 onwards, our population will start declining. NCERT did a research and they have also identified early symptoms that now there are decreasing enrollment in early childhood programs because of multiple reasons. One of the key reasons is now, first time in the human history, we have more women going to school, getting educated, also participating in the economy. And therefore, the desire to have more babies are actually getting down. It's slowly decreasing, right? And therefore, you see many social indicators. The economy, which is growing and hopefully would continue to grow, is going to give more purchasing power. Our per capita income is going to rise with lesser population. And therefore, the parents' aspiration is changing. They have only 1 or 2 kids and they want to give them the best, right? Though this is an opportunity, it also has a challenge. And the challenge is what I think our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji has very aptly tapped into this key segment that we have. And this key segment is this 20 years. The 20 years, we are in 2024, he is talking about what India should look like. India should become a developed nation by 2047. To reach there, what all we need to do? So after 2040, when your population starts slowing down, coming down, which means that you will have lesser younger population and more elderly population will increase, which needs to be taken care, right? And in this case, for long, we have been talking about India has this demographic dividend that we need to capitalize upon. We have been talking, and many attempts also have been made. However, that has not given you the desired impact. Now, this window of opportunity that we have today is only for 20 years, roughly 20 years. So in 20 years, we have to transform, convert the young population that we have in high capacity, high performing human capital, which will, one, generate the economy to sustain themselves, also to generate economy to take care of the elderly population, right? So this is the 20 years window of opportunity we have. This is what our Prime Minister Narendra Modi calls as Amrit Kal. So this is the Amrit Kal we have to capitalize upon and think about it. If we are finally, this is the last bus that we have to make that dream come true of India becoming the developed nation or India becoming the superpower. If we miss that bus, we don't know that window of opportunity would ever, at least in my or our lifetime, open. And that high capacity population that we want in 2040 or 45 or 47 is in your classroom today. And that is the population we have to work upon, that is the high capacity, high performance human capital that we are producing for future. If we fail to do so, which means our opportunity will go in vain for, I don't know, as I said, possibly this window will not open in our lifetime. And therefore, I would like to make a very, very strong and serious case that we have to be serious, all of us, as teachers, educators, schools, researchers, policymakers, bureaucrats, that what are we going to do to tap into this opportunity or we get into the peril. Think about if we are not able to provide good quality education to convert into this human capital, what else could happen? Maybe we will have a social chaos because people aspiration has grown up, but they don't have the skill or capacity to generate money, right? And that is what one of the key speakers to deliver the keynote address today we are going to get is Sri Gurcharan Das ji. What he long time ago talked about that India could be wealthy but not prosperous. What does it mean? It means that you might have money, but other things which your money should deliver, like peace and prosperity and happiness, you might not get. Because there are people who are, let's say, stealing money because they can't find jobs, right? So this is the window of opportunity we have to tap. Now, many things need to be done. And one key aspect that I mentioned our entire education system needs to transform faster. The time of inaction has gone. We have been enough patient. We have been waiting for our time. We have been waiting for things to happen, which I actually call the waiting for Superman phenomena. We all wait for that one Superman will come, one avatar will come, one Modi ji will come, and who will transform everything. Why? Because we can't do it ourselves. That's never going to happen. We finally have to take charge. And now some of the data that Ghanshyam presented or others will come out that we know 20 years ago, or let's say 1991, we had the reforms. So we have had roughly how many? 30 plus years of reforms. During that time, the private school enrollment used to be below 10%. Now it has gone above 50%. And you can very easily imagine whether things miraculously happen or not. In next 10 to 20 years, the private school enrollment is going to be 70 to 80%, right? So by the trend, simply by going by the trend, private schools have the largest share of enrollment. And that is where we need to direct our investment. And therefore, we thought of at least one key aspect that is quite missing, which is desirable, is English. English, we are not treating here just as a knowledge, as a language. It is a skill. The skill that ensures that you have better economic opportunities. And because you are able to gain better economic opportunities, it also brings social mobility. Your entire recognition in the society, if you start speaking English, goes up. And therefore, if we want to create the kind of society and country we want, the key objective of the new national education policy, which was launched in 2020, what is the key objective? Key objective is convert India into the knowledge superpower. How would that happen? It would happen through multiple attempts like Bolo English, which will improve the skill and capacity of our next generation population. Similarly, you would see many ideas that Ghanshyam talked about. These are also directed towards the key problem that we highlighted. How do we improve governance? And if you want to improve the governance, first you have to find the evidence as to what is working, what is not working, where all of these resources needs to be directed. So even government wishes to make investment or increase investment, what is possibly the better ways to make that investment, right? So I would encourage you all that one, look at the big picture. Bolo English initiative is not just only thinking about completing 2 lessons, 4 lessons, 10 lessons, doing the baseline assessment or end-line assessment and score high, etc., etc. It is all linked to the big agenda that we should always keep in mind, which is by 2047, make India knowledge superpower, where the generation, the kids, are converted into high performance human capital, which is in your school today. And therefore, what all kind of things we want to do, right? The second part I would highlight is the key objective of this event. The key objective of this event is also to learn from all of you, not just to teach what we think about it. And therefore, we have some panel discussions where we would like to hear from a few selected teachers and schools as to how the entire process was, how the program was designed, what are the key learning experiences or learning that we are getting, how do we further build upon it, right? So one part of the agenda is to learn from you. give you a platform to exchange the learning with all of us. And certainly and ultimately also to recognize the B Excellence Award. So the excellent performers that we have in this room today, I think the pictures are also displayed outside, that how do we recognize all of that so that your effort and you become that change maker in future, right? So one of the key ideas we have been also deliberating, that those who are identified as the key performers in this initiative, what else we need to do to take this project to the next level, so that you in some sense you are further invested, trained to build your capacity. And at CCS we also have limited resources. We can't go to all the 30 crore kids that we have in the country, but you all have that potential. We can give you training once, twice, thrice, maybe 4 times and all. But how do we create this community of learners and co-learners who are taking those practices forward? So maybe in future we could feel like that, why not to convert them as a trainers who would go and provide now the training. So many opportunities, many ideas we can explore together. But this day is dedicated basically to all the teachers who participated in this program, have performed wonderful, and would continue to take this torch to the classroom practices. The one key goal that we kept for this project, which I think sometimes in our course of action not many people would have articulated or emphasized as much, we are finally going to judge the success or the failure of the program based upon how much of teachers' learning translates into classroom teaching and learning process. And through this, if there is evidence that students are learning better, their capacity is growing, then only we would consider this project as a success. Otherwise, it's a clear signal that we need to further improve upon it. Once again, final couple of lines or words is, this day is dedicated towards the key performers, teachers, the pillar and strength of our education system. So the day is for your. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you so much, Amit, for those thought-provoking words, and also for inspiring us to think that we can be Superman and Superwoman of our own stories and taking the charge. So thank you so much for those words. Moving ahead, Project Bolo English has been a culmination of vision, hard work and dedication of thousands of teachers, students, school leaders and the program team in CCS and NISA across years. To celebrate the same and throw a light on the journey, I would like to invite Mansa, project lead for Project Bolo English. Please welcome her with a huge round of applause.
Good afternoon, everyone. Now am I audible? Okay. Yes. Okay, great. We can start the presentation. But yeah, before we delve into the presentation, I'm sure I would be repeating a few words of what has been told here since morning, but still I would repeat it because of, here I'm not only going to present just about Project Bolo English, the achievements that we have done so far, but also about how, as a project lead, I also believe in this idea, and that's how I connect CCS with this project. And hence, I am really sorry beforehand if you are going to listen to the same things again. But as we all know, Project Bolo English, it's aimed at improving the overall quality of education in especially budget private schools. So while there are multiple experts on policy here, and while there are so many parameters to assess the quality of education and various methods through which we can improve education in our school, this particular project is specifically focused on one such method by improving spoken English communication in schools. So, though we discussed the need for this particular skill, I would also like to throw some light on the why part and how part, because in India we have hundreds of languages and thousands of dialects, and over centuries Indians have seamlessly traveled all across the country and communicated with each other without any difficulty, proving that learning a language is not that difficult for us, and it has never been a barrier for us. So English is just another language, and hence it's not really that difficult for Indians to just master one additional language apart from what we already know by being in India. And this English, as it serves as a mere tool of communication with the rest of the world, but just because of the fact that it is spoken across many countries, it opens windows to better opportunities for higher studies, jobs, and multiple business opportunities. And that's where budget private schools come into play. So they become an affordable choice to parents to help their kids utilize these global opportunities, because English, as everyone has mentioned, becomes now a skill, and these budget private schools are here to provide this particular skill through their medium of instruction. And with that alignment, the objective of Project Bolo English has been to equip the teachers and the students of budget private schools with these spoken English communication skills and reading comprehension abilities, and thus improve their competence and help them go out and reach all the multiple opportunities that are available for them. And the goal here is to improve the competence of all the schools, especially the budget private schools, through this particular project. And the overall outcome, as Amit very well pointed out in each and every meeting of Bolo English, that the outcome has to be clear, and that's what he has clearly mentioned in his speech today, that all these efforts are to ensure that India becomes the knowledge superpower that it is bound to be. And through this program, we are trying to equip and build a capacity in schools to reach that particular outcome. And for example, this is another example that Amit has taken in multiple of our meetings, that perhaps through this program, the schools would go on and build English language labs in their schools, thus making this a sustainable program and something that by the capacity that's built in the schools through our program, the schools can then take it upon themselves to take the training further. So over the last 3 years, since we began the project in 2020, in spite of the challenges posed by COVID, we successfully trained over 1.95 lakh students through different mobile apps, and simultaneously also trained more than 11,000 teachers to improve their English communication skills. And we conducted more than 100 activation melas where our teams went to schools and we engaged with the school leaders, parents and students and explained them this necessity of the project and engaged them and empaneled them. We also conduct regular reviews. We shared weekly reports with the schools. We visited schools on a regular basis. We conducted workshops for the school leaders as well. We also provided rewards to the students as an incentive to improve their performance. We also conducted assessments for both the students and the teachers. And thus we helped all the schools, including discussing with their parents and we try to help the students access the mobile apps that we partnered with for learning English during this phase. And in 2024, the enhanced approach that we have taken is to train the teachers and thus train the students by using the teachers as our catalysts. Sorry. So here we believe, as even the theatre performance has emphasized, we here believe that the teachers are very powerful catalysts to improve the overall English communication in the classroom. And hence, when we train teachers, we believe the impact of this program will be long lasting. And here is where PNG Shiksha and RTF helped CCS realize their vision and goal and supported us to bring this training program to the schools. And with S2M, Stones to Milestone, as our learning partner, we empowered the teachers to educate their students through an online learning platform where the teachers could access thousands of books. They could take daily challenges, they could take regular assessments, and hence they were able to improve their scores. They were able to monitor their own performance. And in addition, we also provided multiple master classes on various topics that helped the teachers improve their communication skills. And in all this, the entire program, we began engaging with schools, helping them with completing the baseline test, following up with them, and ensuring that the Lexile score is updated. And we were on a regular follow-up with the schools to take their feedback and conduct reviews. And we also conducted, have taken feedback for the master classes as well that we have conducted. And with all this constant program management, we have ensured that all the teachers make the best use of this particular platform to improve their learning through English communication skills. So to just look at the numbers at a glance, this year we have reached 407 schools across 21 states, an improvement from 11 states from the past. And we have trained 9,189 teachers, of whom 6,395 have completed the baseline and have started learning on the platform actively. And through this, we were able to map all these teachers, thus training more than 2.5 lakh students. And we have also conducted baseline tests for 21,000 students of them to monitor the impact of this program. And through this entire program, on an average, the teachers have improved their Lexile scores by 59. And overall, the teachers have read for more than 58,000 hours, and they have completed around 1.5 lakh books, and 873, which is a very good average baseline score. That's where they have achieved. And we also conducted 163 online master classes for all the teachers across all these states with 14 different trainers. And we also received an average feedback of 8.84 for these sessions. Thank you. We also conducted 4 in-person master classes at Sirsa, Ambala in Haryana, and in New Delhi and Hyderabad in Telangana. So in these master classes, we were able to get in touch with the teachers directly. We were able to conduct these training sessions and connect with them. And there the teachers not only learned, but also had multiple activities, including a fun dance as well. And today, all this culminates here at the BE Excellence Awards, where we are going to award 100 teachers across 51 schools. And for different schools, the award criteria has been that a minimum of 90% teachers complete the power challenge, that is the baseline test. And for the teachers, we have considered their Lexile growth, their Lexile scores, and the overall reading minutes as the criteria to honor their excellence in this program. So overall, we have received various kinds of great feedback from schools and teachers on how all this learning platform and the master classes have helped them improve their skills and their teaching techniques. And in this entire venture, we have had continuous support from PNG Shiksha and the Rising Tide Foundation. And of course, our outreach partners, our way to connect with all these schools and teachers has been the great support from all these school associations that we are continuously engaged with. And I know here in this room, I don't have to introduce any of them to you. And Stones to Milestone has been our constant learning partner this entire year for our program. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and I'm really looking forward to the awards.
Thank you so much, Mansa. That was really enlightful. Moving ahead, in a joint quest to nurture the next generation of leaders, innovators, and problem solvers, it's imperative that we equip our teachers with the tools and knowledge necessary to succeed in a rapidly evolving world. To discuss this further, I would like to invite you all to join me in welcoming the panelists for today's discussion on making the India Gurus skillful, a panel discussion to understand the schools and teachers' views on identification of the minimum necessary skills, explore the possibilities of necessary and common skills required, and how to upskill. I would like to welcome our moderator for the discussion, who will further introduce the panelists. Mr. Nitesh Anand is a fellow, Policy Outreach at CCS. His journey includes Masters in Politics and Technology from Technical University Munich. As a Frederick Norman Stipend Scholar, notably, Nitesh has also been awarded the Liberal Ambassador certification, where he was thoroughly trained in political facilitation, enhancing his skills in designing and delivering dialogue and engagement with different stakeholder groups. Nitesh, an India Fellow, has been contributing to meaningful policy development and outreach in countries like India, Germany, Cambodia, Kenya, Rwanda, and Zimbabwe. Nitesh is passionate about human-centered design and legal design approaches for creating participatory platforms for policy design and discourse. We welcome you, Nitesh.
Thank you, Sanskriti. So, before we start this panel discussion, let me invite my fellow panelists to come up on the stage. First, let me invite Mr. Rajesh Malhotra, Chairman of Sainath Public School, to join me. So, Rajesh Malhotra has worked in the NGO sector for close to 10 years. He has ventured into education sector in year 2007. He is himself a second generation school leader, and the interesting thing is that he has himself taken the Bolo English project, learned from that and implemented in the classroom. So, welcome Rajesh ji. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Tulsi Vishnu Prasad, who is the president and the third generation school leader of Sri Rama Rural Academy, one of the first residential schools in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, and probably even in India. His school is older than the constitution. So that's a very interesting. Yeah. So welcome Tulsi ji. My last co-panelist on this panel is Mr. Nikhil Saraf, who is the co-founder and CEO of Stones to Milestones, our learning partner for this initiative of Bolo English Teacher Training Program. Nikhil is a visionary social entrepreneur and co-founder of the group, and he is dedicated to fostering equitable futures for children through education initiative. And he is very passionate in bringing technology into at the forefront of delivering innovative projects and programs in improving the learning outcomes in the country. So on that, like, I would request you all to put your hands together to welcome my fellow panelists once again. Yeah. So thank you, gentlemen, for joining me on this panel. So this is a very interesting panel that we are having here. It's a very experienced panel, as you could have had, seen from their bio and profile, as well as it's a very diverse panel. So here we have people who are working in the classroom at the school management level, as well as people who are bringing technology, innovation, and business into the school education sector. So in that way, I feel very fortunate to have you all join me. And before we start the panel, I think I would again like to quote one of the special thing that Ghanshyam shared in the morning presentation, where he mentioned that what actually matters is quality of schooling, not years of schooling. And in order to work and improve on that, I think this project Bolo English was conceptualized, and it has been running for all these last 4 years. So my first round is basically when I would like to talk, like each one of you to talk a little bit from your own perspective of school association, of business, ed tech, as well as from schools, about what are the basic necessities that you foresee in teachers, especially about them getting trained to equip themselves with the necessary skills for English as an English language. So that's my first question to all of you. And how do you foresee this being translated in reality? So starting with Nikhil.
Thank you so much, Nitesh, and thank you so much, CCS, for choosing us as the learning partner for the entire Bolo English mission. It's been going successfully for the last 4 years, and happy to have contributed to the stats you just saw right now. And before we even get started, I think one of the most fundamental issues when we talk about teacher training or empowering the teacher is and specifically from the technology lens, because that was the kind of focus area as well. That in the last 10-15 years, you see any advancement in education technology that happened to replace the teacher inside the classroom. And that was one of the biggest reasons for the failure of education technology that you've seen globally, not only in India, but globally, wherever education technology was kind of promoted, also came to the forefront. You saw the failure because this was mainly coming from the idea of replacing the teacher in the classroom. And I'm glad that CCS understood the fact that it's not about replacing the teacher, it's about empowering the teacher within the classroom. And using the right tech to empower the teacher in the classroom is what will help propel and bring about institutional continuity, which can then lead to better student learning outcomes. And I think that was the first and foremost thing when we were also discussing the state of the problem and what could be done, is how do you empower the teacher and how do you use the right technology to empower them. And I'll quote a very simple example, right? And we do this in some of the schools that we work with across India, where today each teacher inside the classroom has to listen to the child and then kind of rate them on a rubric that's been defined by the school on what their speaking skills are or oral fluency skills are. And that's mandated for any and every school. The teacher listens to about 30 to 40 children over a week's time, taking about literally 2 weeks to kind of listen to every child, finish that duration. And even if Nitesh, you and I listen to the same child, and even though we have this right set of rubrics in front of us, we may not mark the child the same. Your marking and my marking will be different. Now take that and extrapolate it to all the teachers in government schools, in BPS schools across the country, even in private medium, the high income schools. And you will see this problem literally metastasize in very many ways. Today you have the technology where a child can speak to an AI and ML application. You can really understand what the oral fluency, diction, pronunciation, speech rate, words correct per minute are for the child. And then take that data, share it with the teacher, where she can improve upon places where the child is having a gap at. Now that's the power of technology. It saves about 2 weeks of the teacher time and helps them actually work on things that really, really matter. So these are some examples of how you can use technology in the right sense. And we think that was one of the biggest successes of this program, where we were able to empower teachers. Having said that, on the English side of things, when you look at specifically language development within the classroom, language is a life skill. English is a life skill, we believe, right? So any school which is an English medium school, not only the English teachers, but any teacher who's teaching in English has a direct impact on the child if they don't know or with the wrong usage of the language within the classroom. So we say even 1% improvement in the teacher's own communication and language skills, if it's an English medium school, will lead to minimum 5 to 10x improvement in the child. And that's what we are wanting to prove right with the Bolo English program as well, that even 1 or 2 percentage improvement in the teacher's own communication skills. But how do you do that? You can't do that by just hosting a workshop one day. You can't do that by sharing a self-assessment platform with teachers and doing a baseline and do that. Both of these have to be combined in the right way. You need to have self-assessment where teachers who are motivated can improve, and you have to have trainings live and online, both in terms of helping them kind of grasp what they have learned and put them into action. When you combine both of this, you can see magic happen not only in teachers' own motivation levels, but actually see that translate inside the classroom. So these are the two views primarily when I look at the Bolo English program, and glad that CCS and the entire NISA and the entire fraternity was able to bring this together to light.
Thank you so much, Nikhil, for sharing this. I think we are all witnessing the magic happen in this room itself with all the teachers and schools who have performed excellently in Bolo English program. So kudos to each one of you. Tulsi ji, if you would like to share from the perspective of school association, from national association level, why such an initiative is important.
Thank you, Nitish. I always remember one day in 2020, early COVID days, when I happened to be in a Zoom meeting along with Pad Jesha and Kulbhushan Sharma ji, in the presence of Gurcharan Das ji. So we are in the awesome presence of Gurcharan Das ji. So that was how it was initiated almost 4 years back. And thanks to CCS and the continuous effort of Bolo English team, and we traveled a long way. And this is the 4th consecutive year when we are initiating some program even after COVID. So when we were able to train around 11,039 teachers, as Mansa presented. So as a school owner and also as a association leader, I think the association's effort still should be there. More schools should be reached so that we can access more students, the ultimate stakeholder in the future citizen. So Bolo English will definitely do that, and this is one facilitation program we appreciate very much. Thanks CCS, thanks Bolo English.
Thank you so much, Tulsi sir. Rajesh ji, coming to the classrooms, since you not only got trained through this program, but you also have been engaging with the classroom, in the classroom with the students, and also subsequently dealing with the aspiration of parents in your school. How do you foresee Bolo English contribute to such an overall improvement of the quality engagement in the classroom, and even beyond that, satisfying the parents' aspiration, if any?
Thank you, Nitish. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, everyone. Gurcharan sir, the man himself, who started it all. At the outset, let me just thank CCS, NISA, all the sponsors, quite a few there, for organizing this thing. I think from what we heard in the morning, to which ended with the Nukkad Natak, and what Amidst said, if we just join the dots, maximum number of kids, we all would agree, now studying the private schools, they're deserting the government schools. A hand on our heart, and we all know unme se kitne achhi English or grammatically correct or fluent, and there are tenets to the language part speak. We all know there's a long distance to cover. With so many programs being organized, so much of learning happening, still as it is with the other factors, that a youthful country, the largest number of young people in this country, many school going now. When it comes to the language, which we all know is a foreign language, but gives us employability, gives us stature, as Amit said, we still have a long distance to cover. Knowing this fact, I always wonder, where is the disconnect? How is it that we are still not being able to do that? Doesn't go for all the schools, and there are many stalwarts, there are many experts sitting here. I don't know if I'm going to add something new to that. I believe the passion, it goes back to the basic only. The passion and the rigor at the individual level When it comes to the language, getting it wrong is not an option at all. There's no other option but to get it right each time you speak. जिसमें like any of the subject हम लोग पढ़ते आ रहे हैं बचपन से, we have to put in a lot of effort. I don't know why when I developed the passion for the language and when a decade ago I started teaching, I'm not a thorough professional, it's not that I've done great wonders, but I have a love for the language. So the grammar part, the language part, you have to get it right. To assume that we know enough and we can translate that, एक बार class में गए बच्चों को पढ़ाएंगे, and our orthodox system which takes away a lot of our time into doing things that actually don't contribute to the learning outcomes. From there to getting it right. So once the teacher has got it right, she or he has the love for the language and has an eye and an ear for knowing when it's being spoken or written correctly, that's when the real change happens. That's how it works for me, because so you got to get the language part yourself wonderfully well. Schools now, I mean, we are living in an age and stage where, I mean, I have a few wonderful publishers, wouldn't want to name them here. Along with the books comes a high-level training thing also. The school leader can only do that much, that they can bring the training to the school. Teachers are exposed to, as Nikhil said, a lot of digital content. Google mein jao, I mean, there is so much. I mean, I searched for a few things which I'll just mention when I just put in that what does it take to become a skillful language teacher. After that, I think there's no excuse that should be for us to, claim that, we are still on the way. Fine, we will never get it fully right. And as I read somewhere that you will never reach a stage where you will know it all. But as a teacher, you have to know that you are learners on the go, and along the way, never ever can you not have a lesson plan or not put in enough efforts. Teachers, students alike, I think there's a long journey, as I've said earlier, to travel, and grammatically, being blunt, बहुत हम अच्छे नहीं बोलते हैं. As someone said rightly, the content matters. I mean, whatever language you put it across, but once you've chosen to speak in English, you better get it right. So my whole emphasis is that we got to put in more effort. The school can provide the trainers. The teachers has to do the work herself. There are teacher manuals being provided now. There are lesson plans being provided on the platter. After that, if you go back to the classroom and haven't got it right, I think that's inexcusable, I would say. That's as much the school leaders can do. The school leader can demonstrate, you can have lesson plans, you can have observations from outside, but if you think that, when you go back to the classroom, parents' aspiration, parents don't know much about the language. Someone said through the Nukkad Natak, right, bahar English medium ka board laga hua hai, sabse zyada bachche come to our school, and still, if many of the youngsters are not able to speak English correctly or the way it should be, or as an Amidst would speak, or as Gurjaran Das ji would speak, then it all boils down to, we got to take the blame somewhere. So the points that something that I had just noted down, I think I'll just share with you, would be helpful maybe. Communication skills, they say a teacher needs to have, but if you have clubbed that with the language skills, I think it's kind of superb. Organization skills, the lesson plan, classroom handling, yeah. Confidence, someone said very rightly, the fear of not knowing enough grammar can also be countered with more exposure to the language. So high quality content that you need to be exposed to. I developed a habit long ago, thanks to my dad, of reading the newspaper every day. Not that many of the mainstream papers, the leaning that they have, I like it, but I read them any which ways. Times of India is one of them. But usse padhne se, I've had immense growth as a language speaker or as a teacher. I would stop here. You got the gist of what I'm saying. We got to put in more efforts, and gone are the days when we can't say we doesn't know. Rahul don't know. I didn't knew. तो बात तो कह दी, दूसरा वाला समझ भी जाएगा, बट कहीं लगेगा कि really अच्छा language teacher भी हो, aspirational country. So I think we got to get it perfect, and we got to be very conscious of the fact that we get it right as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajesh ji. Now I have a question for you, Tulsi sir. You also represent the national level association and a very strong state level association. And one of the biggest pitch that we see in budget private schools especially is the English medium as their marketing pitch as well as medium of instruction that they profess. How do you see this being translated when it comes to parents, the way that they engage with you, and how are the school leaders expecting that state associations and NISA support them in upskilling themselves? So probably if you can talk more from that perspective, that how are the demand being generated to you from the schools, if any, or what's the ecosystem like?
As you know, 90% of the schools are budget private schools in India, and the parents' aspiration is for the child to speak fluent English. So this is what we come across every day. This is a challenge for any school leader. So this program initiated the teacher training, which should be escalated. When I'm having a talk with Mr. Amit in the afternoon. So now how to reach each and every student in the private schools. That's what our target is. So NISA is there as an umbrella, and state associations are there as spokes. So now we need to reach all the schools. That's the ultimate target. So now I suggest to my co-school leaders here, many school leaders and association leaders here. So the teachers we have forwarded so far, now about 100 teachers are getting rewarded. So these teachers can become the trainers for the trainees in the local state associations. So the state associations can organize the regional meetings where 200, 300 teachers can be taught by these award-winning teachers. These people can become trainers. So that way we can take this in a multiple levels. We can take this program to the basic school and the student, ultimately the student, because now everybody knows that what takes you ahead in life is spoken English, fluent English. That is the aspiration of each and every parent and the student. So as school leaders, we have to make every effort, and we have to plan in such a manner that it reaches each and every teacher and thereby to the student. So this is what we shall do, and this is what we shall plan in the future.
Thank you, Tulsi sir. Nikhil, I have a question to you, because you have been working with different segment of schools, right from elite school to some government schools as well as our own budget private school segment. What kind of distinct differences that you see in these different segments when especially it comes to implementing such a project of English speaking and training programs with teachers?
That's a very interesting question, because we are at some senses the official English and reading partners for CBSE schools, so all 28,000 schools, so to say. But the biggest difference is actually there is no difference across. No matter your school is situated in a tier 4 town or a tier 5 town, we have our own school in Kalol, Gujarat, which is first generation learners, to your school being situated in Gurgaon, the most posh locality, charging a hefty fee or whatever. It doesn't matter. The only thing matters is the leadership at the top at the school is what we've seen in driving such programs. And in this 9,891 teacher cohorts, you can see the same leadership being at display at the school level, at the top management level, and how they look at and kind of delivering it to the last mile, and what their intent is and how keenly they are working with the school. And this does not change. It does not change for a budget school. Does not change for a CBSE, ICSE, IB school. It's all top down. The only difference sometimes you may see is in terms of teachers' own motivation. But then again, I think we have seen enough examples of teachers being motivated if the incentives are right, if the right drive is there in the right environment, and the right environment is created. I think some of the examples are here in front of you. 100 schools getting awarded today, 50 teachers are the exact good examples of schools that are there, and the drive is there, the management is right, and you can see a change within a short time frame. So absolutely no difference.
Thank you so much. Rajesh ji, I remember we were having this conversation few days back, and you were always mentioning, especially about Bolo English project feedback, that teacher skills are not up to the mark. That was a consistent thing that came into our conversation. So how do you see the role of a school management because let's say through a CCS or through a S2M, such programs can come. But what should be the ideal role of a school management, school principal to drive that in order to build this learning habit in the teachers themselves?
Cool, interesting one. A complex scenario, a situation that we've been struggling with. But before I forget, I forgot to mention I attended a couple of master classes and one live session with Mrs. Rupa Dhawan, and this was absolutely classy, and there was so much to take away to the classroom right away. I've attended a number of workshops, but that was superb. Yeah, thank you. Look, the manager, the chairman, the principal, पहले तो खुद को भी आनी चाहिए language, yeah. So if the management has to put in the effort to be proficient in the language, and then the piecemeal one day is then compulsory English ही बोलनी है and all that's all fine, but hardcore number of hours to be put in. Now the challenge is 220 working days. There is so much more that's being added each year. With due respect to all the teachers here, South may have better command on the language, maybe as compared to South. I'm not kind of generalizing. The teachers that come and stay with our schools obviously come from a background that they've studied in school like ours, in the nearby or the government school, and don't bring on table great language proficiency. But एक बार आपके school में आ गए हैं, then if you've exposed them to high quality content, first is to go with good publishers. That's the easy way out, because all the innovation and the research has gone into. They've done that. So you've got ready-made things out there. They put in they give you a lot of content for the teacher to practice also. You have to push that along, but also the management has to be, so encourage them to speak, and when your doors have to be open for them to come and approach you whenever they need any help. A lot of teachers, when they become teachers, like I teach and I lead the school also, sir के पास जाएंगे तो क्या सोचेंगे, हमको basics भी आते. I've told them, but not many of them come forth and do the needful. But that means the damage continues to be done. So I think pushing at that, and then the grammar books that you have. I have just to name Collins की books हैं. It doesn't get better than that. So I tell them, parts of speech आपको जानने ही होंगे, right? Syntax आपको जानना ही, pronunciation, fluency, it all comes over a period of time, because you haven't brought that on board when you came to join the school. But then you can't lay back and say that now that we are that we need not put in more effort. So that's a regular push or a thrust by the management, Nitesh, and gradually you got to keep assessing yourself that have you got it there, because parents को धीरे धीरे अब वो बात आ रही है कि हमसे भी बोलते हैं, सर बच्चे बहुत कम इंग्लिश बोलते हैं, right, and they don't speak much, so they're getting at you and they're going to hold you accountable that why is the magic not happening and what is this all about. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Rajeshji. Now the floor is also open to the audience. In case you have any questions, you can raise your hand and our team will bring the microphone to you in case you have any questions to be asked. Yeah. Anybody? Yeah. So if you can just give your name and introduce yourself very quickly and ask the question, and if it's directed to any specific panelist, please mention that.
I'm Bharat Malik from Mumbai. I'm from founder member of NISA. My question to Tulsi is that these are what we have been talking about, remedies and improvement. But is it not important now with new education policy and pre-primary schools have also come? If the foundation at pre-primary level is put better, things will move to the next level and learning will start happening. That's what I want to say. So what's your input to this?
See, absolutely true, sir. Because the first steps are very important. If the child is introduced to better spoken English in the initial years, that will become a foundation for the child in the higher classes. Of course, once he learns the language, it will always happen. So, but what one has to do is, we are running a program called NREAD, in our schools, with the help from World Reader. So that is one wonderful way of hearing the story in English Then try to, as you grow up, as you come into the higher classes, I mean, first class, second class, you start reading the story, I mean, which is, um, uh, uh, as per the national curriculum framework. So that NRED is a wonderful program. Another thing we can do is we can start introducing the newspaper reading in the schools early after the prayer itself. So once the child starts reading, if he is interested, he will read about sports. He might read about movies, whatever. If the reading happens, automatically the child will start having thousands of used sentences inside his head. Then when the context comes, he can start using them. That's one way of doing it. And the foundation years are always important. Thank you, sir.
I have a question. I am Madhusudan. I am a president of Telangana Recognized Schools Management Association. So here our NEP says the foundational level should be taught in the mother tongue, and we are talking all about English. Of course, English is also a skill, but how do we manage to do these things? Any of the panelists?
I mean, yeah, a tricky scenario, definitely. Here we are aspiring for the language, for the foreign language and mother tongue. Also, I mean, I've realized mother tongue bhi sahi nahi bolte hain. I mean, at least that's for in North also. So there is this local influence and all that. Sir, your guess is as good as mine. I think the balance between the two has to be there. The local language, the comprehension, and to be able to talk your mind or to be able to communicate well is paramount in whatever language you speak, in the local language or Hindi or whatever the local language is. But to have this advantage of the other language and know it as well as your mother tongue is equally important. So I don't think the NEP says that put less thrust or do away with that. But initial years, absolutely, because comprehension is important. And we have seen, Abhi Malik Saab, you asked for the formative years, right? But we've been doing this, school like yours has been doing this for such a long time. Maybe Mumbai, Pune, the other developed parts of the country have a better outcome. But primary में कब से thirst चल रहा है, still the kids are, the fact that goes कि पांचवी का बच्चा दूसरी का नहीं पढ़ सकता is true for all the schools, including a lot of our schools also. Mother tongue also important, but you can't put this on the back burner. Ki English language will put them at rest. But initial years, even I believe, when I teach grade 6, 7, and 8. I break into the mother tongue, namely Hindi, a lot of time for the sake of comprehension, because you're speaking and the kids are not able to comprehend. Once they comprehend, then they get the language, the foreign language also well. Yeah, local language. We're looking forward to the day when the learning only the mother tongue or the local language would give you employability also. That day we should reach one day. But right now, I think the fine balance has to be maintained.
No, sir, absolutely right. And I think bilingual education is the way forward in a lot many ways. But it has to be done with a very fine balance. Sir was talking about early childhood education. Now there's a study called the 3 million word gap. And that's the gap that occurs in the child in India when he enters into school in an English medium school, even though he hasn't heard a single word of English in the first 3 years at his home environment. So he's already lacking behind, and he has to kind of cope up, understand that language, and actually deliver excellence in that language, which is not even heard. And hearing is the first way to learn any kind of language that we know of, right? So in the environment that we are in, I think it has to be a kind of a balance of both. And the later you introduce a language like English, which is aspirational and in which the child is supposed to learn in, it becomes that much more difficult. So both should be there. And if we can do a good job at bilingual, I think that's the kind of way to maybe move forward.
See, another interesting observation is that, right now I have 2 grandchildren. So my 3-year-old grandchild is looking at cartoons or looking at movies. They are in Korean. He's laughing at them, and I don't know how he could understand those things. So that's the introduction part. But being the older man, I always believe that you have to be very strong in your mother tongue. Then you can easily shift into any other language, not only English. See, once you are strong in your mother tongue, your comprehension will be much better. Your vocabulary will become much improved. Then you can easily adapt into any other language, English or anything else.
Can I add one point here? So according to the Montessori pedagogy, a child can learn according to the absorbent mind. The child's mind is like a sponge. The more you give, the more it retains. So a child between the age of 3 to 5 years can learn up to different foreign languages. So that's the beauty of the Montessori mind.
Just
Not only-
one last.
Not only Montessori, actually, according to the scientific way, when the child is born, before birth also, even the pregnancy time we can able to listen. This is a very important topic. And even if you take the 1 day baby, the physical growth is 2.5, 3, 5 kgs, but mental is more than 25 for the mother. Even 1.5 year child, he can able to understand 14 language at a time. Mother can speak English, Nana Hindi, Amma Kannada, Nana Malayalam, another people. He can understand 14 to 14,000 language at a time. That much capacity, that baby. You don't think that way. It is a primary FYP, foundation year program, very, very important for all the education system. Please just go through that. FYP is very strong. If he is strong, the child will read proper way and easy way. I hope that. Thank you. Motherhood onward, it will be right.
But to get some more clarity on what you said, so sir's question was, with us, the NEP says this all mother tongue initially, right? So you said, exposed to as many and that the child would grasp it. We all know that. But what they're saying is, for better comprehension for the rest of his life, he needs to be exposed to that so that he gains confidence and gains interest. So
No, as early as possible, give the more language also, he can understood, sir, more. That's.
Indeed. Yeah. Thank you so much for the questions and comments. Before we conclude, okay, yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, sir. Actually, I don't know whether this question is I can ask now or not. The thing is, we have in India, like ancient tradition, we had the best kind of education system with Gurukul system of education, where a child was empowered mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. So why can't we bring those kind of things so that, we can see total overall change in the persona of a child? It'll become very, it's not just, learning, rote learning and writing and giving exams, but also in terms of personality development, right from his childhood. We see that children today are, they are very abrasive and they can be very, nasty. And sometimes, I think we should really bring that kind of an approach to, that's what I feel. What is your opinion? I would just like to.
2024 is in the kitty. Stay with the man, he will bring that also.
That would be wonderful, sir, because we can.
That's a very valid question and very valid comment. Because of the time, I think lots of the points that you are mentioning will also be discussed in the subsequent sessions.
So one last
Yes, ma'am.
concluding
Last, very,
question.
very quick.
Definitely
very
last. Good evening, sir, one and all. So my question is, after listening to all these things, what should be the role of parents in this aspect, especially with regard to English? We spoke about teachers, we spoke about everything, how the student should be introduced to. But what should be the role of parents? Any one of you?
Anybody
Thank
would
you,
like
sir.
to?
Without parental involvement, your child cannot speak, read, or write in English. That's not possible at all. No matter what we do as teachers, as schools, without the parent being involved, it is not possible.
Definitely, sir. But I'm insisting on the budget private schools where most of the parents are illiterate.
Absolutely.
So please enlighten on that, sir.
I
Thank
can
you.
share a couple of examples and then sir will have, even in budget private schools today where parents themselves come from first generation, even themselves not know English as such, there are tools today available to help the child. The intent has to be there for the parent to spend that time with the child so that the child learns. It is not about the parent speaking. The teachers are already doing that inside the classroom, that the parent has to spend the time and invest that time with the child. I think that is missing right now. As sir was talking about Korean cartoon drama, that's happening a lot more than actually spending time with the child.
So always remember that the child spends only 40% of his time in school. So the rest of the things are to be done by the parents, and we have to educate the parent how they should guide the child at home. Yeah.
So
the hours spent in the school are the golden hours, because
30 seconds.
you rightly said parents, for obvious reasons, you can expect least from them because they're not proficient with the language themselves. For them to understand that, you have to support the child by giving him the environment for him to study, and God willing, if you find a good tutor, which should not be the norm, but as sir said, only that much time they spend in the school. we at the school expect the least, we educate them, but we expect the least. We say, that's why we say the teachers, what is spent there or the small little homework that you give is what you should rely on, because it's I mean, if a mother who has not learned all her life there, and then to say that, aap baitho saath mein and, try to help, but she doesn't understand the language herself. So there's a catch there, yeah. Thank you.
So thank you to all my fellow panelists. Just like to conclude, there were lots of interesting points which emerged out of this discussion, including that this initiative or any of the initiative where like we are working with schools, especially budget private schools, it should not be about replacing the teacher, but empowering the teacher. So that was a very, that was a point which was emphasized very clearly. And another point which came very clearly was that our Bolo English initiative is not for English subject teachers only, but all the teachers who are interacting with the students. We also talked about employability, and also not English language is not a replacement of the mother tongue. Passion and rigor is something which is very much required to take these learnings into the classroom, and high quality content is just a beginning, but lots of other things will have to be done at so many stakeholders level, including the parents, to ensure that the true success of this kind of initiative is realized. So on that note, I thank all my panelists, Rajesh ji, Nikhil and Tulsi ji, and over to you, Sanskruti. Thank you. Rajesh ji, if you can stay back for a second.
Thank you so much for that really amazing discussion. It was really, enlightening to listen to each and every one of you. I would now like to request Amit to please come up and facilitate our panelists for today. And a huge round of applause from everyone. It is rightfully said that it takes a strong vision to guide the path to impact. Today, we are delighted to have with us a visionary leader whose insights have inspired innovation, fostered growth, and ignited passion in the hearts of many. Mr. Gurcharan Das, the best-selling author and former CEO of Procter & Gamble India. His words grace the pages of major national and international publications, often delving into critical analysis of India's education system, educational reforms and policies. A staunch advocate of classical liberalism in India, Mr. Das continues to wield his influence and insights to propel the liberal discourse forward. Mr. Gurcharan Das is also the mentor of this Bolo English project. His mentorship and guidance have been the North Star for conceptualizing and advancing this impactful journey. Under Mr. Das's guidance, Bolo English has transformed from a mere idea to a vibrant program that empowers students and educators alike to embrace the beauty of spoken English with confidence and joy. His wisdom and foresight have paved the way for innovative teaching methodologies, making learning more accessible and engaging for all. Without further ado, I would like to warmly welcome Sir on stage. I would also like to request Sushil Gupta, Madhusudan Sadula, Purnima Sharma and Vikas Jhunjhunwala to join the conversation on stage.
Thank you. Thank you for that generous introduction. And I'm really delighted. I just want to give you a few minutes of how this program got started. And it really began because an 8-year-old girl came to stay with us in Delhi. She came from a village near Almora, 3 hours walking distance from Almora, and she was desperate to learn English. So we put her in a school not far from here. It was summertime, so regular schools were closed, but this school was open. And frankly, she did not get much out of the school. Then we put her in a coaching class, and that too was a flop. Then on her own, she found on my cell phone, an app called Duolingo. And so I knew what Duolingo was, and I knew where she was going. And so I said, let's try it out. And so I gave her the Duolingo app, which linked Hindi with English, basically. But I had used it when I went on work or holiday to France or Spain, because I knew some French and some Spanish. It helped me to remember a lot of that language. And lo and behold, she thought she was playing a game when she was going through the Duolingo lessons. And she was getting rewarded, bonus points. And so within 6 weeks to 2 months, she had really become comfortable in spoken English. Now, I didn't measure whether she knew 500 words or 600 words, but boy was she comfortable, and boy was she confident to ask me one morning, it's raining outside. I think let's do something different today. I mean, she's talking to me in English without knowing any English before. So it was like magic. And I said that if something can be done with an app like this, it could really empower the children of our country. Second point, I met somebody who was running a call center. It was a big one, Genpact. And he gave me the most tragic statistic. He said we get 100 applications, out of which we reject 98. And why? Only because of poor spoken English. He says they are such bright young people who come for these call center jobs, but their spoken English is very poor. Second statistic. Then I said to myself that really, there were other steps leading to this, but ultimately we embarked on a program, and COVID happened at the same time. So that was a mixed blessing or the opposite. So there were no teachers available. It was just us. The team at CCS was there. Rohan, you'll remember good old Rohan. And so we pioneered this project. We started with Hello English and then went to N Guru. So I can see with nodding heads all of you who've experienced this. The only question mark in our heads was, that the number of kids who really completed the 80 lessons was low. In other words, of the 100 people who signed up, to whom we gave a license, I think less than 20 would complete the lessons. Now, of course, there's always a distribution in these things. There's always the people who are self-generating, who will take on first, do on their own. But this seemed like such a good idea that it was, so anyway, the cost also was reflected in this, when only 1/5 actually complete the job. So then COVID got over and the teacher came back. And that's where we realized that the teacher was important. And what was important, even more important, was a statistic that I had read, which was that one of the flaws in our education, we have many flaws in our education system, but one of them was that teachers who taught English did not themselves have the facility or the confidence to teach. So the idea of training teachers really came as a very natural next step. And now we are, I mean, it was never thought, we were never thought we were going to replace the teacher. The idea was to supplement. And it came during COVID, it was like a godsend. But now I think, and the thought that what this, I'd like to pose a question to this panel here, that how do we now take this to the next step? In other words, you train the teacher, and I think this debate in the NEP policy, whether mother tongue or all, the answers have been given. There is no contradiction. The reality is the child is capable of learning far more. Somebody said 14 languages. Well, I would say is, with my children, because we've lived all over the world, my children were speaking at one time, we were living in Spain, my children were speaking to me in Punjabi, to my mother, to my wife who's Nepali, in Nepali, to each other they were speaking in Spanish. And they were going to an English-speaking school. So to their English friends or the school, they were speaking English. So this is what a child is. So let's not worry about it. NEP, yes, the children should be proficient in the mother tongue, but this doesn't mean reducing the excellence in providing English it's a global language. And don't think of English as a foreign language. English belongs to the person who speaks English. So English belongs to me when I'm speaking English. It doesn't belong to Shakespeare or the Queen of England. It belongs to me, and it belongs to you. And so this idea, ye foreign language hai, this is very narrow thinking. This is very narrow thinking. Just as you may use a car, or you may use something that's made from outside, but you're using it. So it doesn't matter where something, it's like cricket. Cricket, they say, is an Indian sport invented in England. Okay. So anyway, so what I want to really pose the question to you is really, where do we go next? And one of the thoughts that I want to present as a starting point, which was given to me when talking to Vikas, that, language teaching all over the world is by using the idea of a language lab. So just think, for those school owners, if you converted one classroom and one teacher for 8 hours a day, children come in from all classes, come in for half an hour, 3 times a week, and they go through. And what do you have? You have a big monitor like that in the classroom. And monitors now are very cheap. They're not expensive. And you plug in your cell phone to the monitor. Teacher has that phone. And then let the show begin. Let the show begin. Because the apps, some of the apps are so powerful that they just take over. And so what she's doing is she's helping those children who are not absorbing. In other words, the teacher becomes a helper, a support. She doesn't have to perform. She doesn't, but she must do it in English. And you mix up cartoons with same language subtitling. That's, by the way, very powerful. Somebody talked about books. If you ask me, the most powerful tool to get children absorbed today, and I would have all TV programs all with same language subtitling. There's enough evidence to show that when you speak the language, when you subtitle the same language that's being spoken, the absorption is very, very high. So, in other words, this language lab has cartoons, it has all these things in it, and all with one monitor, investment of one monitor and one cell phone. So now I want to ask you, how would you think of this idea as the next step? And what would you build on this idea or oppose the idea? What would you say should be the next step? Yeah, please.
Hello. Yeah. See, it's an excellent idea. First of all, I would like to thank on behalf of all the budget private schools, Guru Charan Dasdi, for bringing out this kind of initiative all across the country. And English is, rather than learning like a language, it's a skill, just like math, science, any other subjects. So this skill has to be developed. And I think we can take it forward, making this program as a complete academic program throughout the year. Weekly allotting at least 2 hours of time in the classes, wherein children will be able to interact, expose to this language lab, and there can be periodical assessments every month, and that can be shared with the school and the parents or to the teachers. So that's how the children and teachers and the school will be able to visualize the tangible outcomes, learning outcomes of the students, so that this program becomes more sustainable and more effective.
Okay. So let's have some other views.
Thank you. As you told, and you are the inventor for this Bolo English, hats off to you. What I think today we are going to award 100 plus teachers. So we should ask them to conduct workshops in their cities of other school teachers. So
Teach the teacher. Yeah.
So that is not very a problem in any way. There are associations, they can call the teachers, and as rightly said, this Bolo English is not only for the English teachers, because it is very much necessary that every teacher should speak the right English with the right verbs and all that. So in my opinion, whom you are going to award, they should become the ambassador of the Bolo English, and they can take the workshops in their cities with combining 4, 5, 6 schools at one place, and you can make them the way you can to promote them or to
right.
So that's one.
Good afternoon, everybody.
It's working.
Okay. See, as all of we see earlier we are having only the science practical classes and geography practical classes. But nowadays we are having all type of labs, as you have said, sir. We are not having only the science lab, maths lab, and computer lab. So in the same way, this English Bolo lab, as you have preferred, it's much better to do something in the field of English. The first word which I have heard from the Guru Charandas ji, that is Hinglish. Hinglish is the first step to speak English. Because whenever, as Malhotra sir also said, कि हम हिंदी भी ठीक ढंग से नहीं बोलते. हिंदी में भी हम उर्दू, फारसी, ये सारे वर्ड्स मिले होते हैं. तो मुझे एक सेंटेंस याद है, मैं आपको बताऊं कि जब मैं 12th क्लास में थी तो हिंदी के जो मेरे लेक्चरर थे उन्होंने बोला कि आप लोग हिंदी के पीरियड में भी हिंदी नहीं बोलते. किताब को पुस्तक बोलते हैं, आप तो किताब बोलते हैं. आप उर्दू या फारसी का यूज़ कर रहे हैं. ये हम सुबह से शुरू हो जाएं तो गुड मॉर्निंग पापा, बाय बाय पापा, इंग्लिश वर्ड यूज़ कर रहे हैं. तो ये जो इंग्लिश है हमारे अंदर इतनी ज़्यादा घुस गई है अंदर बुरी तरीके से, शुरू से बच्चे को पता भी नहीं है और वो हिंदी इंग्लिश दोनों बोलता है. तो उन्होंने एक सेंटेंस बोला कि अच्छा ठीक है, आप लोग कहते हैं कि आप हिंदी बोलते हैं, तो मैं एक एग्जांपल देता हूँ, इसको आप हिंदी में बोल के देखिए. तो उन्होंने बोला कि राम ने श्याम से कहा कि मैं तुम्हारे मुंह पे ऐसा मुक्का मारूंगा कि तुम्हारे सारे दांत टूट जाएंगे. आप बच्चे आपस में लड़ते हैं तो ऐसी भाषा का प्रयोग करते हैं. तो कोई नहीं बोल पाया. सबने बोला आप तो हिंदी बोल रहे हैं, बिल्कुल ठीक है. तो उन्होंने कहा नहीं, देखो मैं अब तुम्हें हिंदी बोल के बताता हूँ कैसे बोलते हैं. तो उन्होंने कहा राम ने श्याम को कहा कि मैं आपके मुखार बिंदु पर अपनी मुष्टिका से ऐसा प्रहार करूंगा कि तुम्हारी समस्त दंतावली वसुंधरा का चुंबन करने लगेगी. अब बताइए ये हिंदी, ठीक है. मैं मतलब ये कहना चाहती हूँ आपको कि जैसे सर ने कहा कि ये स्किल है, स्किल कोई भी सीख सकता है. और लैब में जिस तरीके से हम लोग आगे काम करेंगे, अभी हम क्या करते हैं अपने स्कूलों में 2 सब्जेक्ट, 2 हमने पीरियड रख दिए हफ्ते में कि इंग्लिश में ही बोलना है. बट आई प्रेफर स्पीक इन इंग्लिश. अगर आप हिंदी में शुरुआत करेंगे और इंग्लिश में उसको बोलना शुरू करेंगे, दोनों मिक्स लैंग्वेज अगर आप करेंगे, तो यू बिल्ड योर कॉन्फिडेंस फर्स्टली. Then you definitely have the potential to speak in both language also. And one more thing, teachers को English आती है, they have the potential. Hesitation, yes. Hesitation को हटाने के लिए you use English. अगर आपस में एक अशोक जी ने कहा था, अगर यहाँ बैठे हैं तो, उन्होंने कहा था कि अगर क्लास में शोर हो रहा है, चुप करवाना है तो बोलो कि जो भी बोलेगा इंग्लिश में बोलेगा. सारी क्लास शांत. अब मान के चलिए ऐसा होता है. और एक चीज और मैं बोलना चाहूंगी, अभी एक मैम ने उधर से बोला था कि मैम व्हाट अबाउट द पेरेंट्स, इफ द टीचर्स आर स्पीकिंग इन इंग्लिश, स्टूडेंट्स आर स्पीकिंग इंग्लिश, ऑल द एनवायरनमेंट यू आर हैविंग इन देयर स्कूल इज इन इंग्लिश, बट व्हाट अबाउट द पेरेंट्स. एक्सक्यूज मी मैम, आई थिंक पेरेंट्स, मेरे फादर इस वक्त 93 हैं, उनकी इंग्लिश इतनी बढ़िया है. मेरे फादर इन लॉ इस वक्त 85 हैं, बहुत अच्छी इंग्लिश है. उनके पेरेंट्स इलिटरेट थे, कोई पढ़ा लिखा नहीं था. तो सिर्फ इंग्लिश जो है, कोई भी लैंग्वेज आप कहते हैं या स्किल सीखने के लिए थोड़ा इन्वायरमेंट चाहिए. और मुझे लगता है उसमें 100% एफर्ट्स टीचर्स की होती है, जहाँ तक मैं समझती हूँ. क्योंकि पेरेंट्स जो चीज़ें करते हैं वो पेरेंट्स ने तो सब कुछ स्कूल के हवाले कर दिया. तो आपको कैसे सिखाना है, अगला स्टेप जो इंग्लिश के लिए सर कह रहे हैं, लैब बहुत अच्छी एक कोशिश है हम सभी की कि लैब के थ्रू हम लोग क्या कर सकते हैं कि वहाँ पे आपस में हम बोलें कि ठीक है आप हिंदी बोलिए या इंग्लिश बोलिए, लेकिन लैब में जब आप आएंगे तो इंग्लिश ही बोलेंगे. तो वो एक बेनिफिशियल आइडिया है सर, हम लोग उस चीज़ को इम्प्रूव कर सकते हैं. तो यही मैं बोलना चाहूँगी. थैंक यू.
So Gurcharan Di ko maine, sorry, I'll speak Hindi and English. I'll speak English, as Madam said. So I gave the idea to Gurcharan Di that we had tried something. But before I talk about the language lab idea and what our experience has been, I'd like to say one thing which is very important. Well, basically, let's look at not the symptom of the problem, but look at the root cause of the problem. And I personally believe that the root issue of the problem is कि देयर इज नो सिल्वर बुलेट. ऐसा नहीं है कि आप मतलब बेसिकली कोई एक चीज आप डाल देंगे स्कूल में and suddenly basically fatafat all the kids will be speaking in English. It's not possible. It doesn't happen anywhere. So I think let's keep in mind there is no silver bullet. Then what is the root cause? What is the root thing? I believe that the root thing is, in Hindi we'll call it bhook, in English we'll call it hunger. So people like Rajesh ji, people like Ashok ji, who's not here, but I've gone to Muni's school, I've gone to Rajesh ji's school, and they have a hunger कि मेरा बच्चा जब इस स्कूल से निकलेगा, then that kid has to speak in English. Now, I'm not saying that things are perfect, but unless that hunger is there, any perfect solution will also become imperfect, right? I mean, I think you understand what I'm saying. Ki there is no perfect solution, but the thought process that I need to keep experimenting. So again, Ashok ji is not here, but he's somebody who's a army man, sipahi the. But if you go to his school and you look at the number of experiments that he does all the time, I really give credit to people like Rajesh ji and Ashok ji, and sorry, other people also, but मैं इन दोनों को जानता हूँ, that they are constantly experimenting. So I think I would say the root is that we have to constantly experiment despite all the challenges. There are innumerable number of challenges running budget schools. All of us are practitioners. We know what the reality is. But if you have the hunger, then you will find a solution. Now let me come to, sorry. No. Hunger in us. Hunger in the school owner. We have to be hungry.
Anyway, let's let him finish.
Right, the second part, sorry. So I just want to make sure that I also don't give you a solution and say ki ye dawai kha lo and everything will be fine. There is no solution. At the same time, the language lab idea, it's just a term, language lab. Essentially what we have done, 2-3 experiments, is that we use something. So first experiment was, we use something called Karadi Path. Karadi Path is a Chennai-based company, and they have basically sort of using actions and using books and things like that. Now that was similar to what Gurcharan ji said, which we found successful, which is there was a room, there was audiovisual equipment, there was no computers, etc. required, and we found good success with that. We also have a computer lab. Where we have used, another experiment we did was just cartoons in English, which is similar to what Gurcharan ji said. And third is we had a computer lab, and there we were using sort of a third-party video conferencing tool for spoken English. So I think that the fundamental issue is that if a child is immersed, right? I think all of us are, so what Gurcharan ji was saying, in Spain, the child was immersed in Spanish, and therefore the child picked it up. We have an amazing opportunity when the children are so young. So the science says that when children are young, their ability to pick up languages is very high, right? So we have an amazing opportunity of trying different experiments, language lab being one experiment where there could be a potential for us to, for the child to have rapid gains. In that. So broadly, 3 things are required to be thought about, which might look very different from one school to another school. One, what is the space? Does the space, is it a separate class where the children come in and out? Or is it that each classroom can be a language lab? So for example, if it's just a TV, I know that there are certain schools like Rajesh's school where there's a TV in every classroom. So in that case, every TV can be a language lab, or there could be a language lab timing, etc. Right? So let's not become very fixated that ek alag kamra hona padega. But essentially there is, what is the space? Number 2, what is the technology? Is it just a TV or does there need to be a sort of computers as well? And number 3, what is the content? Is it Kardi Path? Is it Stones to Milestones? Is it Duolingo? Is it in Lingua? So I think essentially I just wanted to sort of talk about what a language lab entails, which is these 3 components: the place, the technology which is being used, doesn't have to be fancy technology, and number 3, what is the content? That's it.
Yeah. So that's very helpful. Now, you know, the ideas that I picked up from all of you are all consistent with my own way of thinking, which is that the reason why I was what I liked the idea of a language lab was that 1, 2, 3 times a week, the child is immersed. There is no scope for anything else but English for that half an hour or 40 minutes, whatever the right time is. But whether it's through cartoons with same language subtitling, all these things are happening, and it's week after week after week, and it's every child in the school. Because why do they put the kids into budget private schools? Because the parents are hungry that their children want to speak English. And you know, you made a very good point. That you made the point, which is actually my favorite idea, where I believe that, I don't know what the language of our country will be 100 years from now, or even 50 years from now. We are a multilingual country with 22 official languages, and I certainly do not believe in imposing any language, even Hindi, onto the people of the country. You know what happened. Bangladesh was created on a language base for language. They did not allow the Bengalis to speak and teach Bengali in their schools. Sri Lanka had a civil war because they imposed Sinhala, and they lost one generation. Sri Lanka was one of the best performing countries, and look at it now. So we don't want any language to be imposed on people. Language is a natural, it's one of the most natural things that develops. And language develops through the bazaar, because people from different parts come to buy and sell. And that is how English developed also, because in England in the 14th century, the upper classes, the aristocracy spoke French. It was a Norman invasion. The learned people spoke Latin. They were the clergy, the religious teachers. The ordinary people spoke some kind of khichdi, like our English, where they mixed things in the bazaar, and the English came up like that. But in 100 years, it produced Shakespeare, and it became the top literary language of the world. So it's very possible that this khichdi, today, if you see the census figures, the two fastest growing languages in India are English and Hindi. And why? Because of Bollywood, because of FM radio, because of advertising. It's the bazaar that is working to make it a natural thing. I hope we'll also produce a Shakespeare of English within 100 years. But meantime, I think the message she's giving us is that let's be, in our conversation, in creating an environment for the children, there's nothing wrong in mixing. Aaj Middle East mein peace ho gayi. That was the headline on Zee television. And what's wrong with that? 4 words of English, 3 words of Hindi mixed together in a headline on a television, of news headline. So these are some of the thoughts that which are useful. I certainly believe that the best way forward is the idea of creating that immersion where they, because these are not English speakers, but they have great capacity, those children, to learn. And so it's so cheap, just one monitor, not even a computer is needed. A monitor and a cell phone can make all the difference. And so, to everyone, I think our time is up. Yeah, time is up. So thank you, all of you, and it's nice to be here with you today.
Thank you so much, sir. It's always a pleasure and an honor to listen to you. I would like to invite Amit to facilitate everyone on the stage, please. Please give a huge round of applause.
Let me start from the corner.
Good ideas and vision are the seeds of change, but they need nurturing and support to blossom into reality. We are excited to have two such esteemed supporters with us who have played a pivotal role in empowering and championing the innovative ideas, Procter & Gamble and the Rising Tide Foundation. Let's hear what they have to say. Can we please play the video message?
Hello everyone, my name is Inakshi and I lead Corporate Social Responsibility for P&G India. I'm really happy to join you virtually and I'm really sorry for not being there in person, but I'm sure it's going to be a day full of meaningful insights, action steps, and lots of brainstorming on what we could do together to strengthen our collective impact. Let me tell you a little bit about P&G Shiksha first. This program, which is our flagship CSR program, began in 2005 with the intention of building schools and providing access to children from the underprivileged backgrounds towards education. As the country progressed, P&G Shiksha has evolved into a 360-degree holistic program and over nearly 2 decades now, impacts over 35 lakh children. Our strategy on Shiksha is a very simple 3-pronged approach. Number 1, enhancing the children's learning environment with infrastructure and interventions. Second, improving learning outcomes. And third, where you all come in, is empowering marginalized communities. Our partnership with CCS and with all of you is a part of this particular initiative. In India, the proficiency in spoken English at schools varies drastically through different regions, different institutes, even sometimes in different institutes within the same city. English is one of the official languages in India, and it is widely taught in schools as a second language. It is also a language that opens up so many doors and opportunities for children and adults alike, whether it's about learning or about different occupational opportunities. Which is why we have been partnering with Center for Civil Society since 2021 for Project Bolo English. We aim to provide a means of enhancing the learning level of English in children across budget private schools in the country. The program helps students from lower income groups to strengthen written and spoken English skills and unlock better opportunities. Today, this program follows a very unique train-the-trainer model. All the teachers, all of you, become our means of ensuring that the program reaches the curious young minds in the country. These dedicated trainings and workshops are curated to equip and enable the teachers with the right tools, the right pedagogy, and the right means to effectively teach language to thousands of children. We do believe that this is the right way to approach the program to ensure that this intervention becomes sustainable and scalable and achieves the right impact. This partnership with CCS has been one of a shared vision and collective effort, and we are trying to redefine the way children learn English in India with conceptual understanding. I really want to thank all of you at CCS for continuing the on-ground outreach and all the hard work that you put in to ensure that every child has equitable opportunity to learn, thrive, and succeed. And to all the teachers, thank you from the bottom of my heart for ensuring that our vision becomes a reality. Thank you so much for joining us today and hope you have a wonderful day ahead. See you.
Hello from Switzerland. I'm Isabel. A warm hello from Switzerland. I'm Isabel from the Rising Tide Foundation. We have been one of the earliest supporter of the Bolo English Program because we strongly believe in the power of education and in particular in spoken English for the youth in India. I'd like to congratulate all of the graduates today and extend a very warm thank you to the team of the Center for Civil Society for making this project such a big success. All the best from Switzerland again. Bye. A warm hello from
Bolo English has achieved a remarkable milestone today, and it is only fitting that we come together to congratulate and admire the accomplishments, hard work, and dedication of each involved. I would like to warmly welcome Mr. Kulbhushan Sharma, President NISA, to please come up and acknowledge the outstanding achievements of all. Please give a huge round of applause for Kulbhushan Sharma.
बहुत ही रिस्पेक्टेड, सबसे पहले हमारे टीचर्स जो आज के अवॉर्डीज़ हैं, उसके बाद सेंटर फॉर सिविल सोसाइटी के सीईओ अमित जी बाहर चले गए, छोटे भाई हमारे अमित, तुलसी जी, राजेश मल्होत्रा जी, अशोक जी, देशवाल जी, सुशील धनखड़ जी, सुशील गुप्ता जी, सुशील स्क्वेयर कहते हैं तो अच्छा रहेगा, टाइम बचेगा, विशाल जी, गोपाल रेड्डी जी, मधु जी, विशाल चुग जी, विक्रांत जी, वार साहब, अभी गुरचरण दास जी चले गए, लेकिन मैं अगर वो यहाँ बैठे होते तो उनको याद करवाता। इंग्लिश बोलो की जो शुरुआत हुई तो जो गुरचरण दास जी ने बताया कि उनके एक मेड का जो बच्चा था, वहाँ से उनके दिमाग में ये विचार आया, और कुदरती उसके बाद गुरचरण दास जी से हमने किसी वजह से समय लिया और उनके घर गए, और वहीं पर इस पे चर्चा हुई कि इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज भी बच्चों को आनी चाहिए, और वहीं से ये सफ़र शुरू हुआ और आज ये सफ़र बढ़ता जा रहा है। और इसके जो रिज़ल्ट्स दिखाई दे रहे हैं, मतलब अभी रिज़ल्ट्स अनाउंस होंगे, आप देखेंगे तो अपने आप में वो एक बहुत अद्भुत रिज़ल्ट है। मतलब हमने तो उसको देख लिया है रिज़ल्ट को, तो एक बहुत बड़ा परिवर्तन होने जा रहा है। और जहाँ तक भाषाओं की बात है, हम लोग कई बार सोचते हैं कि इंग्लिश जो है विदेशी भाषा है। भाषाओं में देश और विदेश का कोई मतलब नहीं बनता। जो भाषा भविष्य बनाने में काम आए, और जितनी भाषाएं भी कोई सीख सके उतनी वो कम है। उसकी उदाहरण थी हमारे नरसिम्हा राव जी जो पूर्व प्रधानमंत्री रहे हैं, वो बहुत सारे भाषाओं के ज्ञाता थे। तो इंग्लिश एक, मैं इसको इंटरनेशनल लैंग्वेज कहूँगा, और बहुत सारी बातों से इंग्लिश में फ़ायदा भी होता है, ये मैंने भी महसूस किया। और मैंने भी एक समय था, थॉमस और मैं चेन्नई गए, एक एग्ज़ाम्पल मैं शेयर करता हूँ, तो मुझे भी इंग्लिश में बहुत कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं था, तो चेन्नई वालों को हिंदी नहीं आती थी। अब दो एग्ज़ाम्पल हो गए। मैंने पहले ही कहा कि भी वो मेरा पैनल पे जो है ना, ये बता दीजिए टॉपिक क्या है, तो उन्होंने कहा टॉपिक ये है। मैंने कहा भी ठीक है, ऐसे करो, इसको ना मेरे शब्दों में टाइप करके ले आओ। अब हुआ क्या कि टॉपिक आने वाला हो गया, और वो जो टाइप किया हुआ पेपर पहुंचा नहीं, तो बड़ी प्रॉब्लम, हेजिटेशन हो रही थी कि अब कैसे इसका सामना किया जाएगा। लेकिन वक्त पे टॉपिक आ गया और काम चल गया। और उसके बाद क्या हुआ, मेरा एक ही टॉपिक था जिस पे मुझे बोलना था। थोड़ी देर बाद मैंने देखा लंच के बाद भी मुझे एक पैनल में डाल दिया गया बिना बताए। मैंने कहा अब तो बहुत बड़ी प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट हो गई, क्योंकि इंग्लिश मुझे आती नहीं थी। तो मैंने चलो कॉन्फिडेंटली उसको भी हिंदी में बोला, और थॉमस ने उसको ट्रांसलेट किया, तो मौका हमने कवर किया। फिर शाम को क्या हुआ, थॉमस ने फ़्लाइट पकड़ ली और चेन्नई के दोस्तों के पास मैं अकेला बच गया। तो मेरे लिए बहुत बड़ी प्रॉब्लम का वो समय था। लेकिन आज इसी प्रोग्राम की वजह से और सीसीएस के कई प्रोग्रामों की वजह से अब मैं अगर कहीं रह भी जाता हूँ, तो मेरे दोस्त आशुतोष जी और विशाल जी अभी मेरे साथ, मलान नायडू जी के घर थे जिनको हिंदी नहीं आती थी, तो बड़े आराम से हमने 4 दिन इंग्लिश बोलते हुए गुजारे। तो इंग्लिश की ये एक पावर है कि आप दूसरी जगह जाकर भी जहाँ किसी को इंग्लिश आती है तो आप बड़े कंफर्टेबली रह सकते हैं। और फिर जब आप इंटरनेशनल लेवल की कॉन्फ्रेंसेस में जाते हैं, मीटिंग में जाते हैं, तो आपकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग भी बढ़ती है और वहाँ पर जब आप बोलते हैं तो आपकी रेपुटेशन भी बढ़ती है। अब मैं छोटी सी एक बात कहकर अपनी बात को, कितने मिनट का टाइम है? 2 मिनट और बताऊंगा। विवेकानंद जी के बारे में आप सब जानते हैं। विवेकानंद जी को अगर इंग्लिश ना आती होती तो क्या इतने पॉपुलर होते? आप सही बताइए। उनको पॉपुलैरिटी मिली अमेरिका से, विदेशों से, क्योंकि उनकी इंग्लिश पे पकड़ इतनी मजबूत थी। उनको अंग्रेजों ने ये कहा, मैंने पढ़ा नहीं है कि हो सकता है ये गलत भी हो, कहीं मेरा मजाक बन जाए, जो मैंने सुना हुआ है क्योंकि मैं बुक्स बहुत कम पढ़ता हूँ। तो उन्होंने कहा कि आपकी इंग्लिश इतनी मजबूत है तो आपके गुरु की कितनी इंग्लिश मजबूत होगी। तो मैंने जो सुना कि उनके गुरु इंग्लिश में अच्छे नहीं थे, तो इसका मतलब पेरेंट्स का इंग्लिश में होना कोई बहुत अच्छा ज़रूरी नहीं है। उसके 2 उदाहरण हमारे पास भी हैं। नितेश भी इसका उदाहरण है और हमारे अमित जी भी इसके उदाहरण है। तो उनके पेरेंट्स को अच्छी इंग्लिश नहीं आती, दोनों के दोनों हमारे पास एग्जाम्पल्स हैं। तो मेरा आपसे यही कहना है कि जो इंग्लिश प्रोग्राम है इसको बहुत स्ट्रांगली करें, ताकि जो हमारे बच्चे आगे जाकर हमेशा कॉन्फिडेंट रहें, चाहे इंटरव्यूज़ में जाएँ, चाहे कॉन्फ्रेंसेस में जाएँ, या कहीं पर पब्लिक मीटिंग में बैठे, तो वो लैंग्वेज उनकी रुकावट ना बने किसी भी कीमत में। क्योंकि नॉर्मली अच्छे सेक्टर में, एमएनसीज में इंग्लिश का इस्तेमाल होता है, जिसको आप ना रोक पाओगे ना रुकेगा। इसलिए इंग्लिश को इस प्रकार से एक्सेप्ट करना कि हमने ग्लोबल स्टूडेंट बनाने हैं, तो इस पर मिलकर नीसा सारे टीचर्स काम करें। और नीसा अमित जी को और नितेश जी को पूरा एश्योरेंस देती है कि हम इस प्रोग्राम को कामयाब करने में कोई भी कसर नहीं छोड़ेंगे। जय हिंद, जय भारत।
Thank you so much, sir, for your words. I would like to invite Nitesh to please facilitate, sir. A huge round of applause, everyone.
एक मिनट और लूँगा, ये पकड़िए। हाँ, जर्मनी की एक कहानी 1 मिनट की और रह गई कि जर्मनी में हमारा सिलेक्शन हो गया एजुकेशन इन क्राइसिस में। हमने क्वेश्चंस के आंसर तो हमें आते हैं अच्छे एजुकेशन के, वो दे दिए, और वहाँ पर हमारा सिलेक्शन हो गया। तुलसी जी, मैं और नितेश जी भी उसमें, 4 लोग, चौथे सुशील धनखड़ जी हम थे। अब मैं अकेला था जिसको इंग्लिश नहीं आती थी। तो मैंने जाकर सबसे पहले पाकिस्तान वालों से दोस्ती डाली, नेपाल वालों से दोस्ती डाली, क्योंकि वहाँ पर गेम ये होती थी कि मुझे पहले लगा कि चलो ये 4 लोग हैं, संभाल लेंगे। वो ग्रुप अलग अलग बना देते थे कि इंडिया के साथ पाकिस्तान बिठा दो। तो मैंने कहा कहीं ऐसा हो गया तो एक आध तो हिंदी वाला हो, तो मैंने वो हिंदी वाले ढूंढने शुरू कर दिए, नेपाल, पाकिस्तान, इधर के। तो इसलिए मैं कहता हूँ कि इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज काम हमने वहीं से सीखना भी शुरू किया। लेकिन अगर जितने कॉन्फिडेंट होंगे तो ऐसे कॉन्फ्रेंसेस में आपको बहुत ईजी होगा। एक और आपसे शेयर, वो लैंग्वेज इन क्राइसिस होगी, तो इसलिए जो है अपने बच्चों को सपोर्ट करें इस प्रोग्राम में।
It's now time for the much awaited awards. To begin with, schools are more than just buildings. They are sanctuaries of learning where young minds are inspired, challenged, and encouraged to dream big and reach their full potential. It is within the walls of these institutions that curiosity is sparked, knowledge is imparted, and values are instilled, laying the foundation for a lifetime of success and fulfillment. So, as we embark on this journey of celebration and recognition, let us not forget the invaluable contribution of schools in shaping these leaders, innovators, and change makers for tomorrow. Without further ado, let the festivities begin as we honor and celebrate the exemplary achievements of our esteemed schools at the Bolo English Awards. Huge round of applause for all the school winners. These winners are shortlisted based on how and when they have completed the PAR challenge on the Light Sail platform, and schools where 95% and above teachers have completed this challenge have been selected for the award. I would like to invite Kulbhushan ji and Nitesh on stage to facilitate the schools. I would also like to invite Vikrant Agrawal and Sushil Gupta for the Chandigarh and Haryana Awards. We begin with Chandigarh, and we are proud to announce that Angel Public School, represented by Ms. Jasleen Arora, has been shortlisted from Chandigarh. Please give a huge round of applause for Angel Public School. Next up is Haryana, Bell Toll Public School, Mr. Rohit Dhyani. DC Model Senior Secondary School, Ms. Ritika Gupta. Divine Glory Public School, Navjot Singh. We can all applaud for these amazing schools who are doing amazing job on the ground and making the much needed impact. Gandhi Memorial High School, Mr. Rakesh Sharma. Gap School, Mr. Vishal Chug. Gaurav Model School, Miss Manisha Devi. Geeta SD Public Senior Secondary School, Mr. Narinder Singh. The clapping shouldn't stop. Global School, Miss Nirmala Duhan. Jay Public School, Miss Minakshi Bakshi. Jay Public School, Miss Minakshi Bakshi. Little Angel School, Miss Riddhi Chopra. Mata Harki Devi School, Udhan, Miss Shilpa. Mavericks International School, Mulana, Miss Sunidhi. The energy in the room should be high, and there should be huge round of applause for all the prize winners. Prime Steps International School, Miss Sheetal. Rajendra Public Senior Secondary School, Miss Umesh. SBBM Middle School, Miss Purnima. SV High School, Sohana, Mrs. Purnima Dhiman. Sai Angel Academy, Mrs. Nivedita Bharadwaj. Saraswati High School, Dhanana, Mrs. Parveen Kumar. Saraswati Vidya Niketan, Mr. Ashutosh Gaur. Shemford School, Miss Tina. I would like to remind all the prize winners, if you're tagging and you're posting online, please do not forget to tag @CCS India on your social media. St. Paul's High School, Mr. Blessin Prakash Masi. St. Vivekanand Millennium School, Miss Monica. Sukhpal Senior Secondary School, Mr. Rishipal Singh.
Whoa. Hello?
The SD Vidya School, Miss Rajni Agarwal. Toddlers Town, Miss Rachna Grover. Vidya Public School, Mr. Narinder Kumar. Vikas High School, Mr. Narsi Ram. Future Mind School, Mr. Yadala Geeta Nanda, Kishore Kumar Gaud. Thank you so much. We now move on to the next category, that is the next category of states, which is Andhra Pradesh. And for that, I would like to invite Bharat Malik on stage. Thank you so much. Sir. I would like to invite Bharat Malik, founder member of NISA. While Bharat sir joins us, I would like to invite Ashok Thakur ji on stage to facilitate the next category of winners. The next school is Alexandra Secondary School, Kupwara, Mohammad Ashraf Baba Pirzada. God Blessing Public School, Mr. Daljit Singh. Akshardham Academy, Ms. Seema Sharma. Guru Nanak Modern School, Ms. Ankita Jaiswal. Ops International School, Ms. Neeraj Rathi and Ms. Poonam. Shivalik Holy Mount Academy, Mr. Pradeep Singh Bisht. Sunshine High School, Mr. Vikas Jhunjhunwala. Hari Vidya Bhavan, Mr. Sushil Dhankar. Sainath Public School, Mr. Rajesh Malhotra. And Sun C Public School, Mr. Sandeep Sharawat. Please give a huge round of applause for all the prize winners. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Nitesh. Thank you, Kulbhushan ji. Keeping the energy alive and moving ahead, it's now time to explore an important topic that lies at the heart of education: how teachers serve as the driving force behind the enhancement of English language proficiency among students. In our classrooms, teachers are not just instructors. They are mentors, guides, and champions of learning. They possess the power to ignite a passion for language, foster confidence, and inspire students to strive for linguistic excellence. So without further ado, let us embark on this enriching dialogue as we celebrate the invaluable contributions of teachers in nurturing English language proficiency and empowering students to communicate effectively in our increasingly interconnected world. The moderator for this segment is Mr. Madhusudan Sadula, who is a highly dedicated and experienced education professional with a career spanning over 35 years. His expertise as a teacher, academician, administrator, researcher, and a leader in school associations has helped shape the education landscape in Hyderabad and beyond. As the founder chairman of Pragati Vidyaniketan Group of Schools, Mr. Madhusudan has been instrumental in providing quality education to over 3,000 students and creating employment opportunities for over 200 teachers. His contribution to school education has been recognized through national and international awards, celebrating his outstanding services, achievements, and research. Having served in leadership roles within various school associations at state and national levels, Mr. Madhusudan has led initiatives to drive quality improvement in private schools and influence education policies. He has also played a key role in organizing numerous educational events, from seminars to conferences, aimed at fostering innovation, imparting 21st century skills, promoting value education, and integrating technology in education across India and overseas. His dedication to the field of education has seen him represent India at the COP28 conference in Dubai, UAE in December 2023. His current role as the president of Telangana Recognized School Managements Association boasts around 10,000 member schools, underscores his continued commitment to advancing the education sector. Previously, Mr. Madhusudan held positions of Vice President at the National Independent Schools Alliance, representing approximately 75,000 member schools and still growing. Presently, he is the President of Telangana Recognized School Management Association. Sir, we warmly welcome you on stage.
Hello. Thank you for inviting me and giving a introduction, a lengthy introduction. So thank you so much. And then I would like to invite the panelists and Rakesh Sharma. He's from Gandhi Memorial High School, Haryana. I request Mr. Rakesh Sharma to please come onto the dais, occupy the seat. And he is a qualified BTech, MBA, LLB. He has been in training and education for the last 30 years and had worked with organizations like Aptech, NIIT, Manipal University in various capacities. Currently, he is on board of Ramanujan College of Management, Education and managing Ramanujan School, Palwal, as a consultant, and the Gandhi Memorial School, which is one of the oldest budget private schools. Welcome you, sir. Now, I invite one more panelist. Pushpa Kumaya. Pushpa Kumaya, the principal of Akshardham Academy, Rajasthan. She is a postgraduate in English, has served as dedicated principal of Akshardham Academy, Rajasthan for 4 years. Her leadership has been pivotal in steering the academy's vision and educational excellence, embodying a commitment to nurturing minds with a profound passion for learning. Thank you, madam. Yeah, one more panelist, Mr. Tarun Pandey. He is a mathematics teacher, Great Mission Public School, Uttarakhand. He is a postgraduate in mathematics and BEd. He has been contributing as a maths teacher at Great Mission Public School, Uttarakhand for a year. His expertise and dedication to teaching greatly benefited the students, making him a valuable asset to the school's academic team. Welcome. The next panelist is Indrapreet Kaur. She is an English teacher from Guru Nanak Modern School, holding an MA in economics and a BEd, has dedicated 4 years as an English teacher at Guru Nanak Modern School. Her unique educational background enriches her teaching, making a significant impact on her students and contributing to the school's dynamic learning environment. Welcome, madam. Yeah, here we have the real practitioners, people who are at the ground level and implementing the educational strategies. Specifically, teacher is a friend, philosopher, and a guide, and they help children learning, creating an absolutely a congenial atmosphere in the school to develop their skills. So here in the panel discussion, we have first round of questions to each one of the panelists about their experience and practices at the ground level. English is now a skill rather than a language. People see it as a skill because without this skill, whatever skills they have, they will not be able to demonstrate or present. So it has become a global language, and it is essential for our young people to have this language mastered. So my first question to Indrapreet Kaurji, most of the teachers feel that improving English skills in students is one of the top challenges. We all maintain English medium schools, but teaching English skills is most top challenges. How do you guide and support your students to improve their English speaking skills in your school?
First of all, a very good evening to everyone.
Closer.
A very good evening to everyone, all present over here. I'm privileged and honored to be a part of this event. Thank you, sir, for inviting me. So I would like to share, learning itself is a difficult thing. And what we can do is that we have to be very much connected to the students. We need to connect to them as well as based we should be connecting with them as well as we have to just be there to create activities like which are fun-filled, which are interesting and engrossing. And I believe that progress in itself is pace of in any pace is a victory as long as you persist and never quit. Yeah. So we should be indulging those activities which are engrossing, such as we can just implement activities like rhymes to toddlers. They are enhancing their language vocabulary in such ways. Then playing games like Scribble, Pictionary, which enhances their vocabulary and languages. We can also organize these role plays, which again tell them how to do annotations and enhancing their vocabulary. I believe these are some of the ways that we can follow and implement in our day-to-day strategies. We can also introduce some visuals which can help them in further learning. So these are some of the ways that we can implement. Thank you.
Thank you very much, madam. See, these are the very, very essential parts that will help children in learning language. So the atmosphere that is created to learn the language is more important than giving instructions of language. So now my next question is to Pushpaji. Can you share me one of the most effective and successful instructional strategies you use to improve the reading habits of the students? Because without reading, language cannot be mastered. So what are the strategies that you use to enhance reading habits in the students?
A teacher is not who forcefully puts all the facts into the mind of their students. A teacher is who prepares the students for the future challenges. This I have read yesterday only in Dainik Bhaskar, and it is quoted by Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan ji, and I truly believe this. So first of all, good evening to all present here, and I thank my director, Mrs. Seema Sharma, to give me this wonderful opportunity to be one of the panelists. And thank you, sir, for inviting me. And I'm very delighted to be here among all of you. So, a teacher is always a role model for a student. So I always believe in this, and I put myself as a role model for making a reading habit in my students. I always come up with some of the articles that I have read the day before from any of the newspaper, Dainik Bhaskar and the Times of India. And because I give the articles or the things that interest the students. For example, if the boys are into cricket, so I just ask them or discuss the things that was played yesterday or the World Cup or any of the matches that were happened just before that, so that they will be indulged and that topic interests them. And I then discuss, for my personal view is that, sir, that I love Bollywood, I love movies, watching movies, and I love reading the interviews that are come up in Jaipur Times, in the Times of India. I love them. So from there, I make a habit of reading newspapers, and slowly and gradually, I never read political news, but slowly and gradually, because of Narendra Modi and my husband, that he always puts the news, and I always listen to the whatever is happening. So that I have started, and I have started reading cricket news also, but exception is business news. So slowly and gradually, maybe I will go to that. So in this way, I become a role model for them, and I just tell them whatever I have read, so that the students also, they mimic, because they never follow the instructions. They always do whatever you are doing. So in this way, slowly and gradually, I've made them to read the reading habit, and for different classes, I have made a different strategies. For the nursery, prep, and first class, up to first class, I just tell them whatever, and they have to imitate, because they are very good in imitating. And for the upper higher classes, I just give them some sentences to learn, that are used in their day-to-day life. And then for the higher classes, what I do is just to make them read the paragraph, and I also read along with them in the class, and then we discuss the question answers. So in this way, somehow I have, I have become successful in this, that some of my students have started reading, and they have inculcated the reading habit in them. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Pushpaji. So you create different situations which are interesting to the students. So that will help them create interest in reading. So that's what is your strategy. So very interesting. And also, you're also helping them, reading along with them. So that will help them understand how the words will be pronounced, etc. So thank you so much, madam. So now my next question is to Rakesh Sharma ji. So here technology is playing a very vital role in education right now. Bolo English is the live example, because we all have learned through the technology, through the app. Now, after coming the technology into education, teachers' jobs, one side has become very easier, one side has become tougher learning the technology as well. So how do you use technology, Rakesh ji, in the classroom for improving English skills, both speaking, reading, and communication skills? How technology can be used, or what are the platforms that are available? Can you just throw some light on this?
Thank you, Madhuji. Thanks to NISA, thanks to CCS, thanks to PNG for giving us this opportunity here. This has been a wonderful day today, learning from the experts in the field. I don't think much is left for us to say now. Since morning we have been listening to so many great minds who have been working to make this project a success. In our school, though I have been asked to delve upon the topic of using technology, otherwise my forte has been to arouse the fire in the students. This topic was being discussed in the morning, you need to have hunger or fire. I will come to that later on. Technology, see, this is something absolutely we need and can't do about it. And most of you will appreciate that in 2 years of COVID, when we had nothing to do, it was technology which saved us. In fact, I also got into Duolingo, as Guru Charanji was telling, and got to learn a foreign language, and it was a fantastic experience. So it was the impact of COVID only that we immediately after that we introduced Duolingo in our school. I was not aware of this platform at that time, and it was actually a big success. I think most of you would have used this platform, Duolingo, and seen its power. How many of you know about it, just to have an idea? Okay. So those of you don't know, I make a sincere request to you to just try it out today. In case you want to learn any foreign language, it is a wonderful app. It is designed in the way of a video game in which you get bonus points. Your level keeps on raising, and but it has its limitations. You know, like it has been 4 years now. I have been learning Spanish on it. The problem I found was that even today, I cannot speak fluent Spanish. Forget fluent, I can't even talk to a native for 2 minutes. So, you know, this was a very interesting revelation for me. Suppose you are a teacher of English, your level of English is good. You know all the, you know, syntaxes, grammar, your vocabulary, everything. But then you wonder why this child is not able to learn. What is so difficult about it? Why can't he speak? So if you have any such doubt in your mind, if any such thought comes to your mind, then my advice to you is to learn a foreign language for yourself. Then you will get into those shoes where that child is today, and you will understand the dilemma. What is the problem? I know about 5,000 words in Spanish. I know almost all the grammar, but I can't speak. So how do I overcome this problem? Sorry, sir, like I'm deviating from the topic, not talking about technology. Indirectly, maybe that is how coming into the picture. But I was desperate. No, I have to start speaking. Without speaking, what is the use of the language? So what do you think? What can one do in this situation? I don't have the environment. I can't immerse myself. No, I can't have friends. Like nobody speaks at home. And that is the problem with English for everyone. In school, there is no environment. At home, there is no environment. Then what do you do? Any suggestion, any idea? For a person like me, what can I do? Yes, speaking to, yes, sir, please. Very right, absolutely right. Okay, I could not afford to have girlfriend at this age, but
What about for the girls?
Like we got two absolutely right answers. Like ma'am said, talk to yourself. That is one way. Other is find a friend. So I like sort of motivated my wife. So she also started to learn, and then we started having practice, and now we have a fairly okay kind of level in that language. So that is what we are doing in school also. We are asking our students to find friends, find a partner. Who is your best friend in school or at home, wherever. Make him your friend, talk to him or her, and that definitely brings a change. Otherwise, for technology part, WhatsApp is the best resource, cheap and best. How do we use that? It is a system in our school that every student has to spend 5 minutes of audio daily in the class group. This started immediately after COVID, and it is continuing till date, and it will continue forever. 90% of the students are doing this. 10% either do not have a smartphone, or they can't afford to have data pack. For them, we have given them the option that they can do it in the school. At the end of the school hours, they can use the phone and do this thing. Now, this may sound something very... This may sound something very simple, but it is very effective. Why it is effective? Like, all of us have understood the importance of reading through this light sail platform, and reading is, if you can't do it through books, then at least do something on your phone. Pick a book, read it, and child finds it interesting, because then he listens to his own recording, and then everybody wants, his classmates to listen to them. So this is something which is working. There was one thing more there, forgetting. Other thing is, again, that has got nothing to do with technology, but doing wonders for us is a thing called role playing. Most of you must be aware of role playing. You must have...
Can you just elaborate it?
Yeah, sure. Role playing was otherwise started by call centers when they first came to India, and there was a dearth of English speaking speakers in our country. In role playing, you ask two people to enact a sort of play. They have to do conversation, like one student becomes a salesman, the other one is a customer. And they have to enact a 2 minutes conversation on the stage. So this is our daily practice in the school. It is part of our assembly routine that any two students, they can be called randomly and they are given one role each and they have to enact that role. So again, that is doing wonders and students are very happy doing this. And this especially works in students from class 3 to class 7. They are very happy doing it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rakesh ji. We are giving some simple techniques rather than going into the deep into the technology, but whatever things are very familiar to us. So how to use them effectively is more important than learning or bringing into different kinds of technologies. But now, my question to Tarun Pandeyji. See, we need to give a very, very language-rich environment in the school so that students will be able to improve their speaking skills and English language skills. So, what are the techniques that you use to create language-rich environment in your school so that students will be able to enhance their English skills?
Thank you, sir. First of all, I thanks to CCS and GMPS management for providing me this opportunity. Now, the environment which we need to enhance the speaking and reading skill of a student. I think the most important thing is intrinsic motivation. Motivation from the inside of the students. And for this, we will provide that environment which helps to read and speaking skills of the students. So first, we will work on the confidence level of the student. We provide them opportunity to speak in the assemblies and in the debate competitions and others speaking and reading competitions, so they can develop the intrinsic motivations and helps them to enhance reading and speaking skills. Thanks.
Thank you for being very short and to the point, crisp. And see, because I thought of having 2 rounds of questions, but now 1 round is completed and now the second round will be a very short question because we are running late of time. So first question to Indrapreet Kaur ji. What are your 2 key learnings from our Bolo English program? Just share me 2 key learnings.
I think it's very obvious to all of us what are the key learnings. We all have experienced that one thing that we have learned is vocabulary. We have enhanced our vocabulary. We have enhanced our speaking skills as well as communication skills, right? So that is the most important thing that we have taken away from that wonderful lab, wonderful project. And the second thing that I'm experiencing is that it has certainly boosted our confidence. It has given us a lot of things that we have enhanced so many things. This will be it's so well designed that it is a good experience to be just be a part of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Pushpaji. Sorry, Indrapreet ji, you are very to the point. And Pushpaji, can you just share me 2 things that you have learned from Bolo English and which you are implementing in your school? Any 2 things that you learned and started implementing in your school for the students?
Okay, as far as from the Bolo English program, I myself learned this thing, that to be consistent in whatever you are doing. Because while I was going through with the baseline program, or then after reading some books, I was having so much of problems, and I just put it in the group that ma'am or sir, whosoever is concerned, that please let me know how to solve this problem. But slowly they just answered me also, but slowly and gradually I found out myself that it is this problem and this is this solution. So I was, jumping to the end that, okay, I have to just go through the WhatsApp group and I have to post the queries. But for example, spelling bee, I was having problem in the accent part and I was not having it properly, and then I have the problem with the synonym part also. I was not getting how to get back to the spelling bee part when I go through with the synonyms. Then I want to say that, and I'm not ashamed of revealing this, that 2 days back only I came to know that, because everything was over, the reading part text, power text was in, then the spelling bees were, it went also. Then when I was going through the spelling bee part, so then I come to know that I was going in the synonym part and it was not coming back and it was going to the home page. So the spelling bee was as it is there. So this I have learned, sir, that I should not jump over the, result part and just become anxious towards it, and to be very consistent in it. So this I always tell to my students, that not to be, in a hurry. You have to find the solution yourself. And the second thing is that I learned that to empower the students, like the Bolo English program has empowered us, the teachers. The teachers are teaching the students. So we can think that why we are learning, but learning is a consistent process and it never ends. And when I was in class 3 or 4, so as many of us, we don't have our parents that were literate or they speak in English. So what I did, I and my friends, we ourselves decide that we will speak in English, whatever we want to, because I was in central school, so nobody forces us to, to speak in English that time. So we ourselves, think that we will speak in English period, in science period, and that time SST was in Hindi. So in this way, but I was not consistent. So when I went to college, so I felt ashamed of it, that I cannot speak. I had a hesitant in. And while I was, teaching and with students I was speaking, then I learned so many things and I become a confident speaker, and I'm here in front of you that I am very confident in that. So I have learned that in this way, I will also empower my students, that I have done earlier also, that earlier when I was a teacher in Akshardham Academy, I used to anchor, and anchoring was my part. So one day, before me, there was a teacher, she was doing the anchoring and I just helped her. So I was very, sorry sir. And then one parent said that she left the school because she got married. So Pushpa ma'am has taken over. But what will happen if Pushpa ma'am will go? So then it struck in my mind that I should encourage and empower my students to be the anchors. And now my students are doing this thing. So empowering the students, I have learned these things. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. So empowering the students and guiding them properly. Okay, these are the two things that you have learned from the Bolo English program. So thank you so much. And now, my next question will be to Rakesh Sharma ji. We have synchronous and asynchronous learning. Students will learn at school, within the classroom, and then after the classroom also a lot of learning will happen. So what kind of strategies do you use? Because to keep learning happening after the school hours, after the school, what kind of strategies do we use to keep children learning their English language?
Very short. See, as I told you, like they have to enact these role plays and conversation kind of thing. Similarly, we have sessions of storytelling and joke telling in the school. So for that, students prepare at home. How do they prepare is like what they are told is they understand the story and they try to enact it out with actions. And students' father may be illiterate, but then this is students' job to make his or her father, mother sit there and tell them that story, as if some teacher is telling that story, just to it makes the parents happy that their child is learning something, and the child is happy. He is not afraid or hesitant of saying anything in front of the parents. Other thing, the more the difficult thing is telling a joke in English. It is very easy to tell a story, but to joke, you need to give a pause at the right place. You need to change your tone, modality, everything you have to do. So some of our students, they are very good at it. And we also think, why not? As of date, so most of the, many IITians, they are becoming stand-up comedians. Are you aware of that? There are at least 5 or 6 IITians who have become stand-up comedians. So I want that at least one of my students, if he can become a stand-up comedian, then I will be very happy. And for that, joke telling is the beginning. Thank you.
Thank you, Rakeshji, for being short. And then the final question in a very short, I expect answer from Tarun Pandey. You are a mathematics teacher, but English definitely might be influencing the students' understanding in mathematics. So, what is your message to all teachers that even a non-language teacher can also influence enhancing the English speaking skills? So how, as a non-language teacher, what suggestions can you give? Only 2 suggestions.
Yes, sir. Sir, as the many eminent personalities mentioned that English is not a language, it's a skill which develops your personality. So it is not limited to only a subject, that English is only a subject. English is all about that how your personalities reflect, how good you can speak. And I think these things English play a very important role, as we all know that English is a globalized language, and tell the importance to the importance of English to the students so they can use in every field. Thanks, sir.
Thank you, Tarun Pandey. So now the panel concludes, and then we have a question and answer from the audience. 2 to 3 minutes will take. Yes. Can anyone pass the mic, please? Yeah. We'll take only 2 questions because we are running short of the time.
Yeah. See, sir, in the discussion actually, I hope all the children, which is language, in English medium school, there is a, other than language, there is a subject all. English, maths, science and social is English. If they know the reading, how to read the textbooks, automatically the language will come. First of all, the teacher should speak in proper way language, automatically it will come. That inculcate as early as possible, FYP, either the PYP team, it's good. Otherwise, it is don't do the four. It's not possible to work out the force. Then role play, that is a discussion, peer discussion. That is a good way. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. One question? Anything? Huh?
Good evening. Sir, I have not question, but what we are doing in our schools, I want to share my experience. We are giving last 5 to 7 minutes in every period. Our students, we say them, you talk only in English, whether you play, whether you quarrel each other, whether what you do in 5 or 7 minutes, you just speak only in English. To, good results are coming by this practice.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So you're giving 5 to 7 minutes to speak English. You're giving a freedom without any restriction. So that's a good strategy. So now, thank you so much all the panelists for your very insightful thoughts and your experiences, sharing your experiences. And thank you CCS and Bolo English team for giving us the opportunity.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. That was a very well moderated and an interesting discussion. May I please invite Amit to facilitate all the panelists up here on stage. Please give a huge round of applause, everyone. The energy seems down a little. Can we again have a huge round of applause?
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Madhu sir, one group picture.
Thank you so much, everyone. Finally, it's now time to honor the unsung heroes behind every successful learner, the teachers. Teachers play a pivotal role in shaping the minds and hearts of our future generations. They are not just educators, but mentors, guides, and inspirations. Every day in classrooms, teachers devote themselves to nurturing young minds, instilling a love for learning, and empowering students to reach their full potential. Their dedication, passion, and commitment to excellence leave an indelible mark on the lives of the students and contribute immensely to the fabric of society. So, as we proceed further with the awards, let's have a huge round of applause for our teachers and their exceptional contributions. The teachers will be awarded individually in the following categories: Lexile Growth, Reading Minutes, and Lexile Score. I would like to invite Kulbhushan ji and Amit on stage for the prize distribution. Along with this, Premchand Deswal and Reena Sangwan will be honored to have you on stage for the prize distribution. The first winner is Panchajanya School, Panthakumari Rajani. Mr. Galle Raju from Sri Ram Rural Academy. All the prize winners are requested to please step outside to collect your special surprise gift. Sri Rama Rural Academy, Miss Bhavi Reddy Komali. Miss Gafura Begum from Angel Public School. Miss Geetika from Angel Public School. and Miss Seema Kumari from Angel Public School. Anamika Kujud from Hari Vidya Bhavan. Mr. Shivam Kumar from Hari Vidya Bhavan. Miss Akansha Chandra, Hari Vidya Bhavan. Miss Meenu Chittoria from Hari Vidya Bhavan. Priyanka Are from Hari Vidya Bhavan. Miss Bindu Bhatia, Senior Capital Public School. Miss Bindu Bhatia, Senior Capital Public School. I would now like to thank Premchand Deswal ji and Reena Sangwan ji for supporting in the prize distribution, and I would now like to invite Lakshay Chhabaria and Narendra Garg up on stage for the next round of prize distribution. And Ravindra Yadav ji up on stage for the next round of prize distribution. The next winner is Gurvinder Kaur from Senior Capital Senior Secondary School, SR Capital Senior Secondary School. Miss Monica Mehra, SR Capital Senior Secondary School. Miss Santosh Kumari, SR Capital Senior Secondary School. I would like to request all the prize winners to step out and collect their surprise gifts. Miss Sonu H, Delhi World Public School. Please give a huge round of applause for all the prize winners. Miss Monica, Elora Convent School. Miss Rimpika Seni, Faruka Khalsa Senior Secondary School. Miss Mandeep Kaur, Fathers International School. Miss Manpreet Kaur, Fathers International School. Miss Neeru, Gandhi Memorial School. Miss Prachi Dikshit, Gap School. Miss Kanchan, Hindu Model School. Miss Akvinder Kaur, Mata Harki Devi School, Udhan. Miss Sarabjit Kaur, Mata Harki Devi School, Udhan. Miss Shivani, Mavericks International School, Mulana. Deepika Seth, Milestone School. Diksha Gulati, Milestone School. Ekta Sukhija, Milestone School. Harmeet Kaur, Milestone School. I would like to thank Narendra Garg and RP Yadav sir for helping us with the prize distribution. And now I would like to invite Aarti Girdhar and Bharat Malik up on stage for the prize distribution.
And Sushil Dhankar.
And Sushil Dhankar. Aarti Girdhar, Bharat Malik and Sushil Dhankar. Can we have you up on stage?
Bharat Malik. Vishal Mahajan. Vishal Mahajan.
And Vishal Mahajan up on stage. The next award goes to Himani Takkar, Milestone School. Miss Neha Rani, Milestone School. Miss Renu Makan, Milestone School. Miss Neelam Saharan, Milestone School. Mr. Hitesh Sharma, Police DAV Public School, Ambala City. Miss Preeti Puri, Police DAV Public School, Ambala City. Miss Sunita Malik, Police DAV Public School, Ambala City. Miss Komal Sharma, Rajendra Public Senior Secondary School. Miss Mamta Sharma, SBBM Middle School. Miss Neha, SBBM Middle School. Miss Pooja Rawat, SBBM Middle School. Miss Renu, SV High School, Sohana. Miss Harpreet Kaur, SA Jain Senior Model School. Miss Vani Sindhi, SA Jain Senior Model School. Miss Shilpi Atri, Shemford School. Mr. Blessing Prakash Masih, St. Paul's High School. Miss Monica, St. Vivekanand Millennium School. Miss Nidhi Mohan, St. Vivekanand Millennium School. Miss Paramjeet Kaur, St. Vivekanand Millennium School. Miss Poonam Jasrotia, St. Vivekanand Millennium School. Miss Shilpa Sharma, St. Vivekanand Millennium School. I would like to request all prize winners to please step outside and collect your surprise gifts. Thank you so much, sir, ma'am. I would now like to invite Harsimran Kaur Chugh and Gopal Reddy for the next round of prize distribution. and Mr. G.N. War. The next prize winner is Mokshi Gambhir, the SD Vidya School. Miss Meena Bhalla, the SD Vidya School. Miss Meena Bhalla, the SD Vidya School. Miss Anita Rani, Vijay Public Smart School. Please give a huge round of applause for all the winners. Miss Bhupender Kaur, Vijay Public Smart School. Anita Suri, Pratap World School. Miss Monica Moon, Pratap World School. We would like to hear claps from all of you. These teachers have worked all year round. And it will be really amazing if we can have a great round of applause for all these prize winners. Parminder Kaur, Pratap World School. Richa Sharma, Pratap World School. Sonia Kumari, Pratap World School. Reminder for all the prize winners to please step out and collect your surprise gifts. And come back, yeah. I would like to thank sir and ma'am. And now I would like to invite Mr. Ashok Thakur, Vikrant Agarwal and Sushil Gupta up on stage for the prize distribution.
Sushil Gupta ji.
We can keep the music playing. Ashok Thakur ji, Vikrant Agarwal and Sushil Gupta.
Madhusudan and Thomas.
Can we have Madhusudan ji and Thomas up on stage? The next winner is Mr. Sunil Kumar Kumawat, Akshardham Academy. Miss Pushpa Kumaya, Akshardham Academy. Miss G. Shelja, Cardinal Gracious High School. Miss Kasula Sheila, Cardinal Gracious High School. Miss Turyapati Sarda Rani, Holy Faith High School. Miss Shalini N. Prasad, Joshi's Vidya Niketan School. Rama Rap Lakshmi Narayan Swati, Loyola High School. Miss Nalini Pothuru, Pragati Vidya Niketan High School. Miss Inderpreet Kaur, Guru Nanak Modern School. Miss Raksha Agnihotri, Guru Nanak Modern School. Miss Khushi Verma, OPS International School. Mr. Kamal Joshi, Great Mission Public School. And the last award for the day is Mr. Tarun Pandey, Great Mission Public School. Sir, kidding in front of the boss, sir. Thank you so much. With this, I would like to now invite Nitesh Anand up on stage for the vote of thanks.
So, I would like to take this opportunity to thank each one of you, especially the teachers who came all the way to receive this award, and more than award, to all the teachers who have actually spent number of hours, number of minutes in working with Bolo English Program. So congratulations to all of you for investing into learning. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank the partners, the learning partner of our Stones to Milestones, our outreach partner, National Independent Schools Alliance, NISA, APUSMA, which is Andhra Pradesh Private and Unaided Schools Association, Schools Management Association, TRESMA, Telangana Recognized Schools Management Association, and Federation of Private Schools Association, Haryana. So all of you made it possible to have the Bolo English program scale up and perform at this level. So thank you once again. Last but not the least, I would like to thank each member of my team at CCS, especially Shashi, if you are here, Sanskriti for being such a lovely MC, and Varsha, Ravi. Please put your hands together to these people who made it happen. You might look at me in the front, but all these people in the team, they made this the day happens. So Ravi, yeah, everyone. So like all the team needs the congratulations and your accolades. Anil and Neetu from the NISA team were like relentless in supporting us to make this happen. So on that note, I announce the closure of this event, and please feel free to have tea or click pictures. But before that, I would also request everyone in this hall or outside the hall to please join us on the dais for a group photo. Let's have a group photo before we close the session. So everyone from the team and from the audience, please come to the.
Hi everyone, if you find a blue Samsung phone, please let us know immediately. A teacher has misplaced it, so it'll be really wonderful if you can please let us know if you have found a blue Samsung phone.